ran away from heartbreak. Got nothing in return for my pain. I never thought I'd be so empty, so alone and afraid. Wasn't looking for a lover. Nobody understood where I've been. Guess I thought I needed more.
Yeah.
You're listening.
Yeah. One more time around. Everything's slowing down. Can't control it. Say that you're for me. Right now I need loyalty. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Let's get things started, shall we? Let's get straight into it. 513-873-7134. Hope you had a great weekend. Some folks, the weekend has been extended because today is a holiday, President's Day, which, you always get mixed results when you do a daily digital show of this nature. And really, in any time you do any kind of daily media show, you never know, because a lot of people check out the show as a part of their daily routine. Let's bring the cam up. Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you? A lot of people start the show as a part of their daily routine, and when that gets interrupted, we'll see. We'll see. I am here and ready to do what I do. Good morning to you, and as always, it's a pleasure. On today's show, among other things, I want to talk about three things you might have missed over the weekend. These things may or may not be on your radar screen. They certainly on my radar screen. I'll share with you this morning. 513-873-7134. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing excellent. How many people don't have to work today, but you're still up anyway? What in the hell is wrong with you? Go back to bed. The show will be here. Go back to bed. Well, check that. Now that you're up, stay and chill, and let's rock together for the next couple of hours, shall we? 513-873-7134. Just give me a thumbs up if we're looking good and sounding good. I believe that we are. And everybody's waiting for the next round of snow. If you don't know, they kept putting it off. First, they said it was going to be Friday. Then it was going to be Saturday. Then it was going to be Monday. But then it was going to be Sunday. Then it was going to be Monday in terms of that next round of snow. So everybody's worried about it. I went to the grocery store late last night, and it wasn't packed, but it was definitely busy because Cincinnatians and their knee-jerk reactions. Hey, good morning to you, Crystal. Hey, appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please like and share today's show. Post it everywhere. Cincinnati's first daily digital show that focuses on the Black community. And again, appreciate all the well wishes and love off of that Inquirer article. But that was last week, man. On to the new week. On to new and exciting things. How are you? 513-873-7134. The best is yet to come, family. The best is yet to come. Good morning to you. Again, hope you're doing well wherever you might be. It's my pleasure. Let's chop it up, shall we? If you want to share your thoughts, my number is the same, 513-873-7134. You should see it there scrolling at the bottom of the screen there. I only ask that you open your mind before you open your mouth. That's it. Other than that, it's all good. We can agree to disagree. We can chop it up. We can disagree vehemently. Hopefully, we don't have to get disagreeable. I know that's harder for others. That's harder for some than others, right? Some folks, it is what it is. It is what it is, family. Now, who is surprised that Donald Trump is acquitted? I don't think anybody is surprised by that. You had a lot of Republicans that wanted to straddle the fence, but ultimately they decided to not acquit Donald Trump. From what I saw, the Democrats did an impressive job of laying out a lot of information that we thought we knew everything about, that being the Capitol siege by white supremacists and so-called insurrectionists. Let's call them what they are. And the Republican Party, they failed to go after they do. It is what it is. Mitch McConnell, after voting to acquit Donald Trump, then he goes back to the Florida Senate and gives this long speech about how Donald Trump is morally responsible. It is what it is. Like I said, Hillary Clinton had nothing to do with Benghazi. She wasn't there. It did not happen because of her direct decisions per se. And the Republican Party spent 2 or 3 years, trying to prosecute her, going over emails and everything. Donald Trump, all he did was use the power of the White House and the power of the chief executive. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. And the power of the chief executive to basically cause an armed insurrection. I'll say it again. I mean, if Donald Trump could have got away with it, he would have. He would have did everything he could to stay in power, and it probably would have worked. 513-873-7134 if he could have got enough people. All he needed, quite honestly, was a couple of judges in a couple of states to sign on and legitimize one of his or a couple of his legal arguments, and that would have been enough, folks. I'm just telling you. That would have been enough right there. And they would have used that for Trump to stay in office. Whether that's good or bad for the community, you already know how I feel about it. It is what it is. 513-873-7134. We must discuss it. Also, more information about Glue Girl. Everyone has been talking about Glue Girl. Everyone has been talking about Glue Girl. I mean, on Thursday and Friday, we talked about it several times next week because that's what we do. We follow trends on some levels. We always want to talk about what's relevant to Cincinnati, and in particular, what's relevant to Black Cincinnati. But yeah, we're going to talk about the latest hijinks from the world of viral videos. And, all I can say is I saw a video yesterday that said that was reporting that Glue Girl bought a car. Yeah, she bought her a car. Y'all see this? Yeah. She got donated tens of thousands of dollars. I think it was like $12,000, something like that. And then a Black doctor came in and saved the day, reinforcing that that Prince Charming motif, that Prince Charming idea. But he saved the day. Didn't even charge the sister, which I was glad to see. And he saved the day. Now, a lot of people are talking about the Black doctor, giving him props. A lot of people want to turn Glue Girl into the plight of the Black community and Black women's hair. I don't see none of that. She simply did some dumbish. I saw a video when she was talking about mental health and how her mental health is going to be impacted. Well, I can see that. If by mental health, what you mean is like a lot of people are online talking about you and you're getting messages and people are hitting you up on your Facebook page and they're criticizing you for something that you put on social media. Well, that's always a possibility. Like, social media is a double-edged sword. It can be used for good or for bad. When you step into that arena and you start posting things like, hey, I put Gorilla Glue in my hair, let's see what happens. You're gonna get criticized. It is what it is. It is what it is. But then when I read, and again, is this true? Somebody confirmed this to me. I read she was out buying new whips, living it up. Was it a new caddy I think she bought? Yeah. New everything. Ain't nothing wrong with that. All new everything. Yeah. There's nothing. I even read that Beyonce's hairstylist offered Glue Girl. And I think that's great. I mean, I think it's great. You got people out there with big hearts and they care. They want to come to her defense and help her out. I think that's beautiful. But Tessica Brown, let me see, here it is. 22 hours ago, Glue Girl Tessica Brown donating $20K from GoFundMe to charity. Okay, so she decided, you know what? I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to put it all on charity. She says she plans to keep about $1,000 to cover her bills, and that's about it. She's going to put the rest up for charity. I think that's a beautiful thing. Whatever she wants to do with the money people donate to her is a great thing. My issue is stop trying to make that into something bigger than what it really is. This is not about commentary on a lack of hair care products, because you got a bajillion hair care products out there. You got all kind of Black entrepreneurs, Black beauty, all vegan, non-cruelty ingredients. You got anything you want to market these days. It's not like it was even 10, 15 years ago. There's an explosion via the internet of all kind of hair care products. So it ain't that. She was trying to get that slick back look and she got it. That's it. Simple as that. Nothing more. Stop it right there. Pat Rice, good morning. Brenda writes, happy Monday. Stay safe. Absolutely. Ray writes here. Sharp writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Tony writes, good morning. Strategic vacationing pays off. Ain't stepping out for nothing. And I get to listen live to Nathan and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Fox writes, rise and shine, young stars. Strategic. What did you say? I like that. Strategic vacationing. I like that term. That's right. Why would you? Why wouldn't you? Just, be strategize with them days off, man. Do what you got to do, brother. 100%. I understand 100%. Get it in. Get it in, brother. Good morning to you. Glad you could be here live. Good morning. Good morning. Charles is on Facebook. He writes Grand Rising's name, the Choppers. Good morning to you. How many people are surprised to see that Christopher Smitherman may be running for mayor? Raise your hand if you're surprised by that. I am not surprised. I gave Christopher Smitherman the Lord Peter Baelish Award about a year and a half ago. I would not be surprised to see him run. It was reported I first saw it by the Cincinnati Business Courier. They reported that Christopher Smitherman was pulling petitions. And then somebody inside the Friends page said that someone across the street from them was like, they saw people out there canvassing, for Christopher Smitherman to get up his signatures. Well, this week is the deadline. I believe it's Thursday of this week. Thursday of this week is the deadline for anybody who's going to run for mayor, and it's going to be a crowded race. It's going to be a crowded race, I say, not clouded, but a crowded race. Very crowded. You got all kinds of folks who are running. A lot of black people are running. In a city that's 42 to 45% black, 42 to 45% African American, the black vote is going to be hella important in not only the primary, but of course the general election coming up in November. And we'll talk to everyone here on the Nathan Ivey Show. All right. Every single one. If they're willing to come on, we'll talk to them here. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Good morning to you. Yeah, you don't get no props for being dumb. It was a dumb move by Gorilla Glue Girl. It wasn't a smart move. It wasn't a smart move by Gorilla Glue Girl. It was the kind of move that, quite frankly, set her up for failure. And then she got all of this outpouring of emotion. You know why? Because people are good. There's a lot of good people out there still. And when they see somebody suffering, they want to help. I think that's a beautiful thing. And then the fact that she's now going to donate that money, I think that's a great ending of the story. Because what I was reading was that she was buying brand new caddies and basically fleecing people. That's a terrible end of the story. She would never live that down. But if she goes through with that, keeps a whatever she needs to for her bills, cover her expenses, the rest goes to charity, that'll be good things. I even read that she had a store up, Gorilla Glue Store or Gorilla Glue Girl Store. Yeah, let me see if I can find it. She was selling T-shirts and stuff. Why shouldn't she? She wants to sell T-shirts. Let her sell T-shirts. She had masks. She's selling it all. I saw it. I saw it. You can't tell me what I saw. I saw it. She was going. She look. That's what happens. You go viral. Boom. You want to come up with your own Teespring store or whatever the hell you want to lose. Do some drop shipping. Go. Let me see here. Gorilla Girl T-shirts. Gorilla Glue Girl T-shirts. Here we go. Let me see if I can. Gorilla Girls T-shirts. Here we go. Let's see what these T-shirts look like. I don't think these are Gorilla Glue Girls. This is Gorilla Glue Girl. Hold on. Let me put the glue in because that means everything when you're doing a Google search. See. Yeah, here it is. Now selling her own Bonded for Life merchandise. That's what it's called, Bonded for Life. Have you seen this? I ain't mad. Some people are saying foul. They're saying this is wrong, that she basically trying to profit, but everybody's trying to profit. Everybody's trying to profit. Everybody's trying to cash in on an idea or a circumstance. Oh, here it is. Look at this. Official merch, Jessica, Bonded for Life. You see that? I'm not mad at sis. Get it on, sis. Get your thing on. Get it in. Get it in. Her website is tessicamerch.com. Let's go to it. That she's selling t-shirts, hoodies, and sweatpants branded with Bonded for Life. Somebody's thinking, well, here we go. Here we go. Bonded for Life. I ain't mad with her. She said, hold on. I got the spotlight real quick. I'm gonna use this. You can get the hoodie is 50. The sweatshirts is 45 for a cool 95, and of course with taxes, that's gonna be a cool 100. You can get yourself some Bonded for Life gear. I ain't mad at her. Go right ahead, sis. Well, she got black t-shirts and white t-shirts and white sweaties, gray, black, bonded for life. She is hilarious with that. So what do you think about Glue Girl cashing in? Does that contradict the fact that she really needed help? Again, I mean, somebody posted a video. I saw it. I can't confirm beyond the video in which they said that she was buying new whips. It is what it is. Like if she kept all the money, people donate the money to her. So it is what it is for whatever she want to do with it, right? Yeah, maybe it's for the operation, but once you donate the money to somebody, you can't tell them what to use it for. It is what it is. It's like, I don't know, the brother that's building that school. You know what I'm saying? King Kong consciousness. What is up with all of these gorilla references in the black community? I don't know. But there it is. You can find her at tessicamerch.com and you can get her Bonded for Life wear. She'll probably make about, I don't know, she'll make some money off of this for sure. For sure. Is she wrong? Is she exploiting the game, or is that just part of the game? I think it's part of the game. It is what it is. Akeem writes, happy side piece day. Huh? What? That's right. Oh, yeah. Yesterday was Valentine's Day. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think I'm lucky in that sense where, you know, the wife and I have never really got super down with Valentine's Day. I mean, do what you want to do. It's all about you and your relationship as a couples and what you want to do. That's what it really comes down to. But it was funny because yesterday I was sitting on the couch and I was chilling. And the wifey's like, she said something about Valentine's Day. And I'm like, really? When is Valentine's Day? I mean, it just was out of my mind. I got other things that I'm thinking of. And she's like, it's today. I'm like, oh, word. Happy Valentine's Day, boo. And that was pretty much it. We've never even before, there's never been a time in our relationship where we really got down on Valentine's Day for whatever reason. Now, anniversary, birthday, that's different. Valentine's Day, I mean, it is what it is. Have your fun, live your best life. For us, for me, should I say, meh. Crystal writes, hey, good morning. Happy President's Day. Happy Obama Day. Okay, I'm cool with that. Jenny writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Sister Iris is in the house. She writes, good morning, great people. Jane's in the house. She writes, good morning. April writes, peace and blessings to all. Good morning to you, should I say, happy birthday. Happy President's Day. Dale writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Fame writes, my uncle getting deported. I gotta get to the federal courthouse. What's the roads looking like? Same as yesterday. I didn't see any big difference. See Black Russia's in the house. He writes, good morning, hashtag alt middle. Good morning to you, brother. Akeem writes, defund the LAPD. Yes, absolutely. Fame writes, she rented a Mercedes. Oh, that's what it is. She rented a Mercedes. Yeah, see, in the video that I saw, you know what? They did say Mercedes. Yeah. She rented a Mercedes. Well, that's important. That's important. I don't know how much it costs to rent a Mercedes, but okay. Here it is. Tessica Brown, Gorilla Glue Girl, exposed by followers for renting, allegedly purchases a Mercedes. It's all over the internet, man. Gorilla Glue Girl buys Mercedes Benz. So did she buy it or did she rent it? Who knows? Does it really matter? We'll discuss it here. I don't know. I don't have a problem with her selling merch. I mean, that was her experience. And you know what? This could have been all a part of a ruse to just go viral. Like you can still go viral by doing some Gilligan type stuff in 2021. We're this deep into the viral world, and you can still go viral for doing something like that. Listen, if it ends up being like all a part of some viral thing, then props to her. Props to her. Daryl writes, this is such a non-story. I mean, it is and it isn't, Daryl. It is and it isn't. Like it is a non-story. It's a non-story in a sense of like, if you want to compare it to other things that people might say is more important, you're right about that. But it's a real story in the sense that it's something that people all over the internet are talking about. You know what I'm saying? But I feel you on that, brother. Charles writes, the 43 Republicans put fear before country. The 7 who voted to convict are already facing backlash in their respective state legislatures, right? Yeah. Cam's in the house. He writes, was Nicki Minaj's 64-year-old father being killed by a hit-and-run driver over the weekend in NYC a sacrifice for something and a possible future advancement of her music career? I did read that Nicki Minaj's father got ran down and struck by a hit-and-run situation and killed. You're saying this is like part of the Illuminati or something like that? I couldn't tell you, brother. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Let me see here. Anthony writes, I read she donated the money to charity. Nate, I read the same thing. Naisha writes, she definitely monetized off of stupidity. It pays to me. It pays to be stupid is what I think she's trying to read. They're trying to say. It pays to be stupid. Does it pay to be stupid? Naisha, like... It's hard to read it. Like I would say, generally speaking, no. I would say in this situation, yeah, it does. It does. It's all about what she does now. Black Russia writes, I saw Judas and the Black Messiah yesterday. Heavy movie. Was it now? Can't wait to see it. It's worth the time, huh? You give it a thumbs up? Oh, okay. Let me see. Dante writes, not me. I didn't give her a damn dime. She did exactly what I thought she was going to do, profit off of her BS. Yeah. Let me see. Anthony writes, what is really crazy? Other people did what she did that after seeing her results. Right. Donnie talked about a black dude on the Is It Just Me podcast on Friday. She talked about a black dude who put some Gorilla Glue on it, looked like a red cup, and then like put his lips on it. And it just goes to show you just how impressionable some people are, quite honestly. Gorilla Glue girl is a Gilligan. Fame writes, black men are the reason Triple G put the adhesive in her hair. We ain't ish. We always causing black women problems. Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself, fam. You always causing black women problems. You know what I'm saying? That's you, brother. No, black men are not the reason why Gorilla Glue girl put the adhesive in her hair. And see, that's where, somebody was saying that they didn't think this conversation was worthy. I disagree with you. When the conversation goes to the part of like blaming black culture or blaming black men, like, look at what black women got to do to try to be beautiful. They're trying to be beautiful for the brothers. Why they got to, when it goes there, oh, no. Now we got to stop and have a conversation about it. This was not commentary about the lack of black hair care products. This was one woman's bad decision, period. This ain't got nothing to do with no black men. It has nothing to do with anybody other than her. She made the decision. It's vanity. It's vanity. It's all about vanity. Nothing more than that. Brenda writes, good morning from Fairfield. The moral of the story is read. That's what Crystal writes. She said, that's the moral of the story. Read, not for hair usage. I guess I can't use it. Come on, man. Like I said, who out there is putting Gorilla Glue in their head on accident for real? Nobody. Adele writes, I watched Malcolm and Maria. Soul not ready for Judas. So how was Malcolm and Maria? I haven't watched either one of those. Grafton writes, I get the commentary part, Daryl. How about commentary on critical, like PG's crazy motion going after FBI agents and filings? How is and see that's where I disagree with you. What's happening with PG Sinfield is not critical to Cincinnati. How is that critical to what's happening with the black community? It's critical to him, but outside and at this point, until we find out what's going to happen next, we got the charges, and then we have the defense. What else is there to talk about until then? I don't get it. How is this critical? I would say that Glue Girl is more critical to me because it's taking on this black cultural kind of part of it where it's kind of like commentary on black females' hair than PG Sinfield. But I know you got a bone to pick with him. You've been, grinding this axe for a long, long time. I get it. It's a bit hypocritical of you. I will say that though, Graxon. I will. But carry on, brother. Let me see. Fame writes, if she capitalizing off her own stupidity, then she is stupid, or are we stupid for giving an F? Told y'all this week, this was a work to get bread. Yeah, I mean, you ain't the only person. You ain't the only person who said that. Tony writes, me and my wife watched Jesus and the Black Messiah last night. I remember seeing Deuce interview on Eyes on the Prize. Wow. Okay. Can't wait to watch it. Yeah, Daryl, I'm with you, man. I mean, tell us what's so hot about this thing with PG Sinfield. I know you doing your bidding of Smitherman, and you want to whip this back up just like the text messages, but I like to hear it. I would love it. I'm sure you got a great flow on it too. I just can't understand what it is. Dante writes, I can't agree with this. I don't see anybody making this girl do the crap she did. All of these girls want attention and would do anything for it. Thank you, Dante. Thank you, Dante. Right. Stop blaming other people. Because black women love to blame black men for the ish that they do. I had to do this because black men didn't want me. I don't believe it. You're doing what you want to do because that's what you want to do it. Period. Just take personal responsibility. I did this because I wanted to. That's it. Nothing more. I always hear this. I couldn't do this with the black man. So that's the black man's fault. No. Deborah Nesbitt's in the house. She writes, good morning. Mike Will writes, why not cash in? People made her famous. We can't hate now. It'll die out. Right. Oh, no. Deborah writes, step your game up, Nate. In what way? What do you mean? Step up your game in what way, Deborah? Crystal writes, he's such a Virgo. I am undeniably such a Virgo. 100%. You got me. Cam's in the house. He writes to Dante, a seen or unseen voice calls her to do such a foolish thing. Now what this is still yet to be seen outside of the media attention. It even has scored her something again. Mrs. Love Being Black writes, good morning, fellow beautiful smart choppers. Good morning to you. Corinthia writes, good morning, all. Graston writes, not this week, too focused on getting signatures. Hit me in a messenger if you a Cincinnati resident. Alt middle, remember the Titans. Who are you getting signatures for? Could it be Smitherman? Let me see. Sean writes, in the military, we had a saying, when you F up, you move up. When you F up, you move up. Is that right? Anthony writes, if the Republicans that vote to convict were smart, they would really stick it to the party and switch over to the Dems. Let me see. Crystal writes, don't come for me. Okay, she going back and forth with fame. Bill O'Neill on some real ish. Although a traitor, put more positive work in the black community than people like Iris, and the guy was a traitor. Let that sink in. Why are you calling out Iris Rowley? What's she got to do with Bill O'Neill? Oh, I get it. You on some ish. Oh, I keep forgetting. You on some new ish, right? I get it. I see. Listen, I see right through it, bro. I see it. Let me see. Bill O'Neill on some real ish. And I don't understand why you got to feel the need to pull Iris into it. I mean, she doing what she do. I think everybody should do what they do, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? I'll be honest with you. If you're gonna point the finger at folks, Gragston, then people are gonna point the finger back at you. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Fame going back and forth again. Dante writes, Nicki Minaj going to the next level. It's different levels in satanic Hollywood. Oh, so you think that was a satanic ritual? So now she sacrificed her father. So what? She can go quadruple platinum? I mean, she's already got bread, right? She's already internationally famous. Why? What more level is there that would make her? Y'all really believe that if this was some kind of Illuminati ritual, and that's the reason why she lost her father? Okay, I mean, whatever. I don't think so. Dale writes, that was Black Russian, they not me. Okay, my apologies. Let me see here. Crystal writes, about to have a block party. Oh, listen, I'm all about the block party. I don't have no time for it. Let me see. Fame writes, I'm sure my brethren is right that Judas and the Black Community Messiah was good, but I will never watch it. I have no interest in a bum effing black Brit playing a civil rights icon as a main character. Hollywood loves to get Black European actors to portray iconic historical figures in Black figures in history. They love that for some reason. But they love that. They love to go get a European Black actor to play an iconic Black person in American history. I don't get it. Maybe you do. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show. Hold on 1 second, Drop. You know me, man. Give me, I'm a little slow sometimes. Give me 1 second to make sure that I got you properly connected, brother. Hold on 1 second here. Hold on.
Did you hang up on me?
No, I didn't hang up on you, brother. You still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
All right, man. Good morning to you.
Voice. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. What's up? How was the weekend?
Oh, the weekend was outstanding because guess what? Back-to-back impeachment trials, back-to-back acquittals. Will the Democrats let Donald Trump go? And according to this morning, they ain't ready to let it go. Now, Mr. Ivy, I just turned the show on. I'm out here on the left coast. It's 5-something out here. And I just wanted to see what you were talking about, see if it was on your radar. I looked at a few comments in the chat. And all I got to say, Mr. Ivy, is it ain't over because 74 million people let America know that they are not feeling Sleepy Joe and the desperate Democrat Party. So now that the acquittal is over, at least most people think it's over, but the desperate Democrats, they won't let it go. They're still talking about, they should have called some witnesses. Why y'all ain't called no witnesses? Well, Mr. Ivy, again, just like in the first impeachment, desperate Democrats are looking at the opposition party to convict their own president. And again, another fail. So now all eyes are on Sleepy Joe. And the ones with the biggest eyes are the Black Democrat voter, because they're saying to themselves, this better not be another Obama Biden remix. Where my check at, Sleepy Joe? Where my $15 hour? Why you letting all the Mexicans in? See, Mr. Ivy, those issues will be coming up. And I'm hoping that you, sir, I hear you laughing in the background. You got a question for me before I sign off?
Nah, man, just enjoying your flow.
What? You have no questions for your only Black, not Democrat, that's been with you for going on 3 years now, Mr. Ivy. 3 years in April. You have been graced with the presence of Drop Squad 52 on the Nathan Ivy Show. And you have risen to great heights. Congratulations on the Cincinnati Inquirer article, Mr. Ivy. I knew it was coming because you are one of the best in the business. And hopefully your show will become bigger and larger, just like the Black Not Democrat podcast hosted by me, Drop Squad 52. So since you don't have no questions, sir, I'm going to hang up. I'm going to continue to listen to your show because I think I hear something in the back. You hear that gate opening? Because I think there's somebody that's real politically petty out there, and they better get ready because they're going to have a whole lot of defending to do. Because guess what, Sleepy Joe? It's time to govern. Drop Squad 52, Black Not Democrat. Drop the science to anyone who wants to catch it. Peace.
Appreciate the call. This brother is not. I don't want you to stop, Drop. I don't want you to stop. I appreciate it. That's right. Well, I mean, you're just a hypocrite, though. I mean, you're 100% hypocrite when it comes to Trump. You shouldn't even bring Trump's name up, quite honestly. And I say that because where was all of this energy when Trump was in office? You weren't talking about no black agenda or nothing about that then. You weren't criticizing the Republican Party when they were in power and they kept going back and forth and talking about Benghazi and emails. You weren't talking about give it up. They never were able to convict and had no hopes of convicting Hillary Clinton. They legally, they couldn't do anything about it. But they put on a show for 2-3 years over and over again about emails and Benghazi. You didn't say a word. To be honest with you, Trump deserved to be impeached. Everybody knows that. He's still going to go down in history as the only president to be impeached twice. Now, whether they convicted him or not, hey, that's politics. That's politics. If it was a court of law, he probably would have been convicted. He probably would have been convicted, but that's what happens when you've got enough people on your side. That's what, simple as that. Simple as that. It is what it is, Brother Drop. I appreciate it, though. 513-873-7134 if you want to share your thoughts. I'll put the camera back up on screen here in a second. But first, I want to remind you that today's show is brought to you by the Wellburn Experience. Are you looking for a dream home? Are you looking for rental property? Are you looking for commercial property? Well, if you're answering yes to any, the answer is yes to any of those questions, if not all, then call Otis and his team this morning at 513-252-1055. Again, 513-252-1055. The Wellburn Experience, and let Team Wellburn take care of you. They'll get you together. They'll take care of your needs. You can email them this morning at teamwellburn@gmail.com. teamwellburn@gmail.com. The Wellburn Experience. All right. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. Cam writes, the fact that so-called black men are calling her Gorilla Glue Girl instead of her name proves Fame Rostein's point. I'm just saying. Hey, that works too. However, let me see here. The Greater Cincinnati Union Choral Union writes, Judas and the Black Messiah. Haven't seen it yet. Samantha writes, vanity plus low self-esteem equals stupidity. It can make people do some bad things. Graston writes, PG's case matters in the black community because black sellouts push PG in the black community for pennies on the dollar. Hit dogs holler. PG's case matters in the black community because black sellouts push PG in the black community. Okay. Yeah, I still don't see your point though, brother. But again, you run with it, man. You do you. You do you. You do you. You talking about Lincoln? Man, leave Lincoln. Quit trying to make a name for yourself by criticizing this black man. You know what I'm saying? Please stop. Let him free. Because like I said, you continue to. Okay, appreciate the love on the text. Appreciate it. You continue to support Smitherman even though he turned his back on the black community, even though he trashed a black female entrepreneur who all she tried to do was to open up a business on the bank. See, let's not. You don't want to have this conversation with me, brother. You already know. Because with me, I talk about the facts, right? And I have a long memory. A lot of people might forgot what happened with that sister and how Smitherman jumped on board and started going to non-black media and basically criticizing her deal and using that to ingratiate himself with a primarily non-black audience, right? Remember that? The sister, everybody's for black folks, but what about black entrepreneurs? Right. I mean, you don't hear nobody else's deal being talked about like that. The city had all kinds of deals where it lent money to people to start a business. And I remember that the Inquirer did a good job of chronicling the story. And what they found out is that what happened to that sister on the banks with mahoganies, that was not uncommon. It was very, very, a lot of businesses on the bank got some kind of help from the city and then went under. But it was the Black female-owned business that your boy Christopher Smitherman just kept harping on and kept talking about. But yet you want to talk about somehow the Black community. Negro, stop. Please stop. Say that for somebody who don't know what's going on. Because we ain't on it. We ain't on it. We already know. Please stop. You had all kinds of folks down on the banks that was getting money from the city. And a lot of them businesses went under and nobody said a word about it. Nobody was on the radio like, oh, it was a bad investment. And we knew it was nobody said a word except for the Black female-owned restaurant called Mahogany's. That was above the fold. That was the premier conversation. Why did they give this sister some money? Meanwhile, you got developers getting tiff on top of tiff on top of tiff. Nobody says a word. Nobody says a word. Oh my God. TNT writes, good morning. Good to see you. Hey, what's up, Mary? What's up? What's up? How you doing? She writes, good morning, fine people. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Tony writes, it's the sign of the social media times. Expect someone to do a Gorilla Girl challenge on TikTok, right? Let me see here. Crystal writes, famous board. He might be. OJ writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. TWE. Good morning to you, brother. Crystal writes, somebody please give him some attention. He wants you to give him some attention this morning for that nonsense. Crystal writes, so who are the mayoral candidates today trying to see something? Okay, well, let me look that up for you. So here's who we know. We know Kelly Prather. We know Avtab Pureval. We know Chris Silbach. Okay, that's 3. Who else do we know? We know about David Mann. That's 4. We also know about Herman Najoli. That's 5. We also know who else is running. Wendell Young, I think did I say him already? That's 6. You got the brother from the stateside, Cecil Thomas. That's 7. And there's a couple other folks. One is a local entrepreneur as well, who I believe is a brother. And then there's a white dude that's an entrepreneur. I can't remember his name. Let me look up the article. Oh, you got quite a few. It's gonna be an interesting. If everybody gets the signatures that they need, and again that deadline is Thursday, it's gonna be one hell of an interesting mayoral primary for that Democrat primary. It's gonna be real interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting, family, because you got a lot of folks out there. You got a lot of folks. So we know that Denise Driehaus is not running. We know that the former mayor Mark Mallory is not running. So who's going to be your front runner? We'll have to wait and see. If Christopher Smitherman, I mean, what would make more sense? I guess it comes down to the individuals, like whatever Smitherman decides he wants to do. Some people have been saying that he's going to run against Stephanie Dumas. And then you got this information that came out on Friday that suggests that he might be looking at running for mayor. He would be a strong contender for either one. So I have to wait and see. I have to wait and see. I don't know. So let me get some specifics for you, Crystal, because you asked a specific question. I want to try to give you a specific answer for that. Glenn writes, morning, Nate, in the Facebook choppers. Good morning. Good morning. Keebler writes, Pac-Man got arrested again, did he? Oh, dear Lord. Why? Damn. Well, did he get arrested in Hamilton County? If he did, then he's got a get out of jail free card. That is the Hamilton County prosecutor, Joe Dieters. Because didn't Pac-Man do some campaign articles or some campaign work for him? He did a commercial or 2 for him. Yeah, it probably helped him too. Damn, what did he get arrested for? Good morning, Rice Tiff. Tony Rice drop is too predictable. He is predictable, but that's the charm. That's the charm. You know what you're going to get. 57 senators voted to impeach Trump. Yes, they did, including 7 Republicans, including Mitch. I'm sorry, should I say Mitt? Mitt Romney is the only Republican senator to vote to convict Trump twice. He was the only one who voted to convict Trump the first time. And now for the second time, he's voted to convict Trump. So Mitt ain't playing. So I'm letting it be known. I don't think the dude is good. I don't think the good is good. What's up, Nappy Roots? Brian writes some catchphrase: every sentence is propaganda and creativity deficit. Black people on bigotry issues, not a good look. Let me see here. To fame, I can respect it, brethren. It really put the spotlight on sellout Negroes. Reminded me of a local Cincinnati talk show host selling out black interests for chump change, cheap liquor, and cheap cigars. Yeah, I don't see it. I know that's your new tune now, but I don't see it. Nappy Roots writes, good morning. Let Lincoln be great. Let Lincoln be great. Let me see. That's what I would say. Let me see here. Let me see. Greg Rice, good morning. Good morning to you, Greg. Good morning to you. Pamela Rice, drop Letitia James and the SDNY. Glenn Rice, preach, Nate. Black Republicans are the biggest suckers. Right. They got a lot of explaining to do. Looks like we got a call coming in. Let's take it, shall we? Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Guy. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Guy. Welcome.
That's absolutely wonderful. Hope your weekend was blessed. I got a couple things. This morning, I'm not really into your rhetoric. I'm not quite disgusted, but I don't understand why you are going after my brethren there about this situation with the elder talk show host. You know, it's not about just me supporting my alt-middle brethren, but at the same time, there is something to be said as to why the hell did you sign that paper, Mr. Ware? I mean, don't get it twisted. I'm fond of Lincoln. He shouted me out on the show several times because he's he is an avid participant in the business that I do, and he shouted me out on his show before. But at the same time, like I said, what would make you sign something like that? What's the point? Why stick up for that guy? And I don't know, PG from the Hell of Beans might be an upstanding individual. But what's the point? You're a talk show host. He's a politician. Mind your business. And I think on some level you'll agree with that. Maybe not publicly, but what's the point of you signing that, sir? And so for you to go and Grashton like that this morning, I think it's a little weak. And I think you're better than that. I'm fairly disappointed. I'm talking June 20th, 1996 levels of disappointment. Secondly, did you see over the weekend something maybe you missed, that Halle Berry came out talking about how her ex-husband, or whoever he was, is using her $16,000 a month that she pays in child support to fund his lifestyle. And it's like, honey, you're preaching to the choir. We all knew that. That's kind of what people have been saying about it for years. Why it's unfair. You take from my life to put into somebody else's, because we know every dime from those checks you get don't go to child support. That's well known. But instead, she wants to be a victim. She's always played the victim. Whether it was David Justice or the white boy, she was always some type of victim. And she's doing that now when she should really use her voice for change. But it's easier to be a victim, just like the Gorilla Girl. You know, the Gorilla Glue girl, Triple G. She was just an idiot. And somehow she turned idiocy into being a victim. And I mean, now granted, I love the way that she allegedly paid the money back or put it into charity. You know, that's a good deed by her. I'll give her all the props and respect for that in the world. But, you know, I was just of the opinion from the giddy up that there's nobody this stupid. There's something behind this. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, the only thing I've heard that was dumber was what was his name? Michael Dukakis' wife actually drank rubbing alcohol once to get drunk because she was such an alkie, or he did. One of the two. One of them was such an alkie that they drank rubbing alcohol to get a buzz. You know, so, oh yeah, so, you know, yeah, I you know, just I need you to chill on my brethren and respect the process. You know, respect the alt middle, but definitely respect what he's doing. And two, yeah, Halle, you know, I mean, because Halle Berry, let's be honest, you like basketball. She's the Allen Iverson, Stephen Marbury of basketball, of Hollywood. As good as she looks, as good as their games look, nobody likes playing with them. That's why they've been on so many teams. Because they're attention seekers. You know, I don't want to play 82 games with a guy who constantly goes 10 of 35 from the field. And that's who she is. She's a 10 of 35 shooter, a bad teammate. That's why she can't stay in a relationship. But she likes to be the victim, so she's playing this as she's being done wrong by her husband or her ex, which is what, you know, and besides, there's also something to be said. If you're a woman and you lost your kids, you did something really foul. Because 9 out of 10, you know, custody splits go to the woman. So therefore, if you lost control of your kids and you were ordered to pay child support as a female, you're foul. You did something really jacked up in that relationship there. The judge said, nah, I'm sending the baby to the daddy. So that's all I got, B. It's always a pleasure. It's been real. I had fun. Leave my brethren alone. Oh!
Somewhere out there, thank you for the call. Somewhere out there, there's a black man with a wolf lapel over his head, trudging through the snow with a phone he just put back in his pocket. That would be fame. So let me take it from the top. So in terms of your brethren, he on some dumbish. And if you on dumbish, then you're going to get called out. I mean, simple as that. You know, you kind of coming across like Bruce Hoffbauer and what was the brother's name is who decided that, who got fired actually by Charmaine McGuffey. What was the brother's name again? He called in. I'm talking to him. I didn't ask you what he thought. I'm asking him to explain himself. You call in defending him. But like I said, I mean, you asking questions of me that I can't possibly ask. You got to ask Lincoln why he decided to sign it. And I think, and again, I haven't talked to Lincoln about this. I don't know Lincoln where and what his thoughts are about this in particular, but I would have to surmise that the reason why he signed on to that level, that the letter supporting PG Sinfield, is somewhere between because he motherfucking wanted to, and that's what the fuck he wanted to do. Somewhere in between those two. I'm just spitballing here. Okay, I'm out on a limb, but if you ask Lincoln, it's probably going to come down between those two, those two poles right there, right? Those two positions, because he motherfucking wanted to, and because that's what he wanted to do. Somewhere between there. Okay, there's not a lot of space in between there, but something tells me it's somewhere in between there. You know, that's what I would say. But you had to ask him for yourself. But what I was asking Graxton to explain to me and to us is, how is it, and again, he might have a good reason behind this. I want to hear it. How is it that anybody, because there was some other black folks that signed on to the ledger for PG in the support of him as well, who, by the way, has not been proven guilty of anything at this point. It's just an allegation. Same thing with Jeff Pastor. But how does that mean that you're a traitor for the black community? I've yet to hear anybody I've yet to hear an explanation for that makes sense. Like you can say anything, but it doesn't mean it makes sense. But I mean, to each their own, man. Do you, family? 513-873-7134. It is what it is. Marcia writes, good morning. Crystal's letting y'all know today is not the day. Susan writes, kill it, Nate. Regarding Liz Rogers, black people's memories be like, yeah, people didn't forgot how Smitherman basically turned Liz Rogers into a villain. And all she was a black entrepreneur. Like everybody talking about invest in black and buy black and black this and black that. Well, you had a black female who was asked to extend her business model. She was asked this by elected officials who were looking at the banks. That's the banks of Cincinnati, saying, look, we can do better. There's room for development here. Hey, we want you to be a pioneer and come down here and put your restaurant on the banks, which in hindsight turned out to not be a smart idea on multiple levels. Number one, the banks, at least when Mahogany's was there and the city and the county, they hadn't done enough to make the banks a destination. Like outside of the Reds and Reds days and then Bengal days, there hasn't been enough done in terms of making the banks a real draw. Now you got to remember, now they got a big ass Ferris wheel down there. This predates the Ferris wheel. Like the Ferris wheel, when all other ideas fail, put a big ass Ferris wheel with some lights on it on the banks. And who knew? People was going to gravitate toward it. And they did. People gravitated toward it. Right? They liked the idea. So let me get this straight. So let me get to, I'm just again, everybody's different, but when you come at me on this show and you say certain things, and I just want you to explain yourself. So Lincoln Ware is a sellout because he's cool with PG Sittenfield, who has yet to be convicted of anything. And PG puts out a letter saying, hey, I want people that support me to sign on to it, to show the world, the public, the prosecutors, whoever, that I'm innocent. People sign it. That makes him a sellout. Christopher Smitherman, as an elected official, used that position to demonize, to vilify Liz Rogers. Liz Rogers has talked about it on this platform. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if I talk to Liz Rogers, she could tell you herself what the impact of it was. Going far and above. Like, it's one thing to say, I think it's a bad deal, you move on. It's another to spend months and months and months and months and months going on media channels in the city that have really no black hosts whatsoever. And if you listen to their rhetoric, is on the opposite side, you know what I'm saying, of the black community. And really on these media platforms, they ridicule, they objectify the needs and the concerns of the black community, right? But that's not selling out though. Negro, please stop. Please stop. You know, for people who don't know the history and haven't been around, they might fall for that. For me, it ain't happening. I know too much. I was here. I seen it. I'm telling you what I heard. I listened to some of those radio interviews when Smitherman would go on there and would keep hitting his bandwagon, just like somehow Liz Rogers was affirmative action, or somehow she duped the public and stole some money. No, that's not what happened. No, it was elected officials that went to her and said, hey, Liz, we'd like you to come to the banks. And sometimes when you're doing investments, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. It is what it is. Sometimes you invest your money and it works. Sometimes you invest your money and it don't work. But that's just the price of doing business. But when it came to the black female entrepreneur Liz Rogers, oh, no. Oh, no. Somehow, you know, she was bamboozling the public, and look at the city being involved in these kind of businesses. And Christopher Smitherman was the grand wizard of all of that. He was the band leader the entire time. So let's not get brand new because it's been a few years. Okay, let's not forget who's who and who did what. Okay, because when you do, I'm here to set the record straight. And that's what happened. But all of a sudden, Lincoln Ware is a sellout. Please stop. Please stop. See. Graston writes, I'm speaking facts on Lincoln Ware. Lincoln took $2,500 in exchange for signing PG letter saying PG is above reproach. Lincoln Ware is Bill O'Neal, and Lincoln wants to escalate ish. So I want all the smoke. So Lincoln Ware is a man who's in his 70s. And you think that's tough to challenge a man in his 70s. Okay, well, we just see things differently. You do you, bro. That's like that's pretty funny, but okay. Graston writes, how much did Sin Digital Media get from PG to start up? Hashtag alt middle. Oh, I see. Like I said, brother, I'm never caught off guard. I've been waiting for all of this, bro. I've been waiting for it. Let me see here. Susan writes AFTAB. Yes. I think I put his name in there, Susan. I think I did. Let me see. Greg writes, did anyone see the Saturday Night Live skit about Gorilla Glue hair? I did not. I know they did do a skit. I didn't see it. Okay. That's just me. I didn't get a chance to watch the SNL skit. I don't know. SNL's not going to be as funny, I don't think, with Trump not in office. But these are very creative people. I'm sure they'll find a way to get the laughs. Brian writes, good morning. Good morning to you. Crystal writes, Seelbach man to Jolie Young, Prather Thomas. Yeah. Let me see. Dale writes to Gregson, that's not cool. Oh, let him get his piece off, man. Let him get his little piece off. He got something to say this morning. Brian writes, good morning. Let me see here. Graston writes, remember Hot Mike? Yeah, I've had a great time with it. We got about, I don't know, maybe 30 episodes. It was the first of its kind podcast in the city of Cincinnati. As a matter of fact, it's coming back, actually. Yeah, I haven't abandoned Hot Mike. I'm going to rebrand it and relaunch it with a whole new vibe to it. So if you enjoyed that podcast, then please check it out. I think we still got a presence up on Facebook. You should check it out. Jerome writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Danita writes, my brother, baby mama cousin Tracy is running for mayor too. My brother's baby mama cousin Tracy is running for mayor too. What? Is that facts? Who exactly? Nadine writes, AFTAB Pureval, next mayor. He's definitely got a good shot at it. He definitely got a good shot about it. He definitely does. No doubt about that. Linda writes, yes. Crystal writes, oh yeah, and PG Sittenfield. We'll have to wait this week. So that will be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if PG Sittenfield is going to turn in the number of petitions that he needs in order to be on the ballot. Because there's been a lot of speculation, with his legal issues, will he still run? I told you my thoughts about it. I think it's uphill battle. It's an uphill battle unless there's like a smoking gun that comes out of it for PG Sittenfield. And what I mean by smoking gun is if there's some evidence that comes out that shows that the feds were somehow politically motivated, or, they were trying to, put together a case that was based upon something other than just law and order. Like it can't be vague. It's got to be smoking gun type level. Then I can see it. Anything less than that, I don't think it'll be enough to overcome the way the public is going to view that whole situation, because people say you're innocent till you're proven guilty, and that's true to a point. It's true to a point, right? It's true to a point. It's true only to the point where, it comes down to like a popularity contest. Like if people like you, then that's the way it is. If people don't like you, it's like, well, The feds wouldn't have brought a case once they had it. You know, it's just the way it is. And even outside of like and don't like, everybody's got an opinion. Brandy Rice, good morning. Good morning to you. Let me see. Graxton says something about the black church. Glenn writes, sounds like they are suffering from battered caller syndrome. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Janice writes, good morning. Crystal writes, you don't like AvTab either? My goodness. She said, I need some Baileys in my coffee. I cannot with some of you. Brian writes, no live video. I want to see your facial expressions at Fame's comments. Oh, yeah, Fame was caping for his brethren. I mean, go right ahead. You know, that's how you feel like you want to get down this morning. You want to cape for your little brother or your big brother or your brethren or whatever. You go right ahead there. But yeah, it is what it is. And then you brought up Halle Berry. You must have missed it, man. I talked about 3 stories you might have missed on Friday. And I came across that Halle Berry story like Thursday evening, and we talked about it and made some of the same points you made just now, Fame. Yeah, all of a sudden, child support is unfair. Like, men have been talking about that for years and years and years. But my hope is that because it's coming from a woman, that now people can understand it. A woman can say things about child support around children that a black man can never say. Because there's so much negativity, there's so much of a negative stigma associated with black men not taking care of their kids, that in a situation like this, if a black man came out and said what Halle Berry said last week on Instagram, the world would have shut down. Essentially, she said it is very difficult to pay her child support. If a man said that, a black man, black women would be like, well, why is it difficult for you to take care of your kid, right? Black women who've had any kind of a bad relationship around kids or anything like that, you got black women out there that had kids with dudes, they skirted on them. Them black women would form Voltron if a black celebrity said that. But Halle, well, I can understand. I can understand. I don't understand. I don't understand the double standard. If it was wrong back then, it's wrong now. Simple as that. If it was wrong back then, it's wrong now. Janice writes, where's Nate Livingston when we need him? That's hilarious. You talking about for Graxton? Oh, Graxton's okay. Jesse writes, where's Nathan? I'm right here. Let me see. Anthony writes, I'm disgusted to hear a man that Jones so hard about other men. You talking about Fame? Exactly. Krista writes, that's absolutely false. Brian writes, speaking of basketball, what's up with your boy LBJ finally getting caught flopping? Search up LeBron flopping on Memphis. NBA sent out a warning. LOL. Hashtag GSW. Everybody flops in the league. You know who I blame? I blame the owners who changed the game. When you change the game so that the offensive player has the advantage and they basically reward you for flopping, then players are going to flop because they're trying to get every advantage to win out on the floor, on the hardwood. You know what it is. Tracy writes, y'all don't have a clue. They share custody. This became a problem because she was ordered to pay under a shared custody agreement. She did not lose custody of her daughter. People going back. Williams in the house. Good to see you. Elaine's cracking up. Cass writes, Tracy, some folks just don't care. They can't keep a man, woman themselves and got the nerves to be commenting on somebody else's relationship, but they don't know the facts. The nerve. Good morning to you, Nat. Grasson writes, Fame articulated my thoughts. If Lincoln wears mad about what Jason Williams wrote, he needs to take it up with Jason. That old man don't want smoke in the city. What did Jason Williams? Oh, yeah. Jason Williams wrote about that. I did. That's right. You're right. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. He's coming back to me. Hey, we got John. Hey, John, sit tight, man. I'm going to come straight to you, brother. We got John from Princeton, New Jersey on the line. Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, you making these broad statements about how the black community was betrayed. I'm a part of the black community. Explain to us how there's some kind of betrayal. I just don't see it. You might have a good argument, but I haven't read one yet. I haven't read anything that makes any sense. I mean, you entitled to your opinion, but your opinion ain't necessarily facts. Tracy writes, we stage dragging black women, I swear. I think we stay dragging black men, quite honestly. I think we stay dragging black men. And if I think you're talking about Liz, right? Yeah, I was not happy with that at all. If you're talking about Gorilla Glue Girl, she did that to herself. Like, she posted the video. People forget that. She wasn't caught on camera out in public. She posted the video about her experience. She wanted and invited people to comment. It's the double-edged sword. It goes back and forth. Crystal writes, I'm taking Lincoln over Smitherman every day when it comes to the black community. I would agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that every day, all day, from what I've seen. See, well, and at least, again, I don't see it. Cam writes, I dance for PG. Okay. And you stopped dancing for Ice Cube, huh? Because remember, you was all in your feelings about Cube. Cube didn't say that. Here's what he meant. Okay. Let me see here. Oh, man. Glenn writes, Lincoln Ware is a sellout, but Smitherman is the Juicy Smollett of 700 WLW and Willie Cunningham, GTFOH. I mean, listen, all I know is that I went, since we're going to have this conversation, let me just pull things up. Braxton, I think you're a hypocrite to call anybody a sellout. And I saw you at the NAACP forum with a John Cranley t-shirt on, stumping for John Cranley for his reelection bid. And oh, by the way, who was his opponent? Yvette Simpson. So how in the good's name can you talk about the black community when, if you go back to the election of John Cranley, and John Cranley's done nothing for the black community. John Cranley said a lot of things he was going to do. He's betrayed all of them. John Cranley has done nothing but publicly try to criticize some high-profile black elected officials, chief of police, black city manager, but yet you got the nerve to talk about Lincoln Ware. Man, please. I was there, and you were sitting there disrupting what was going on, and the brother David had to let you know, like, you're going to have to step out in the hallway, which you got your ass up and went to the hallway. Come on, man. You don't forget who you talking to. Don't forget where you at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't got no pause on it. I just put it all straight out there. So how are you, among any of us, going to talk about being a sellout when you were selling out for John Cranley, who's done nothing for black folks whatsoever? He was running against a sister who, by the way, if she had been elected mayor, I think she would done a hell of a better job than John Cranley has, in particular for the black community. Just being honest with you, it's just my thoughts. But yet you want to come in here talking about sellouts. Negro, stop it, man. Change the topic. This ain't a good topic for you, bro. Not on this show. Now, on other shows where they don't really know the history, you can get by on this. But with me, you got to explain a few things before you start pointing fingers at anybody, bro. I'm just telling you. You got to explain a few things. Let me see. Brian writes, the Banks is not really a super welcoming spot for black people. You can go there, but it doesn't welcome the culture at all. Agreed. It still doesn't. Still isn't, should I say. Let me see. Not the vice mayor's fault. Mahogany withheld state income tax from Ohio. That's why she got shut down. Yeah, but it is the vice mayor. It is Christopher Smitherman's fault that he took that opportunity to go on primarily anti-black radio Let's call it what it is. Let's give it another name. He went on anti-black radio and criticized his sister for months and months and months, and basically used that whole scenario to sort of introduce himself to the anti-black media audience. I mean, if you go back to it, that was if you go back to like the history of it, that's how Smitherman became like a regular fixture on some of those shows. That it was Mahogany's. He used what was happening with Mahogany's to introduce himself to these folks. But yeah, we ain't supposed to talk about that. We supposed to forget all of that. That's not selling out. And I'm not saying you shouldn't, if you feel a certain way about a deal and you're a member of council, sure, you should speak your mind. But this dude went on and on and on and on and on and on and on for months and months and months. Like that was the only topic. Like if you take out, like if you listen to Smitherman over the last few months when he goes on, or the last year or so when he goes on anti-black radio in the city of Cincinnati, and he's just 100% focused on the Gang of Five and text messages, that's how focused he was in terms of the constant critiques and bringing it up over and over about, Liz Rogers and her deal. Like, don't believe me? Just go on Liz Rogers' page and ask her, send her a direct message. She's talked about it. She's talked about what it did and set that culture, create a really nasty culture around what she was dealing with. And if you're a business owner, you already got 1,000 things you're dealing with. You don't need that. There's no example of a member of city council or Christopher Smitherman doing that about any other deal. But there's been so many other deals, and in some cases where the city gave up even more money or just as much, and then the business goes down, nobody talks about it. It's just like, oh, well, we tried. But when there's a black entrepreneur, oh, this isn't a reason for us to stop giving money out. We shouldn't be working with these kind of businesses. We're going to get out of the restaurant business. Okay. Please stop. Let me see. Glenn writes, all the smoke from a 70-year-old black man, Gilligan tendencies are rampant, right? Cam writes, Nate, you didn't answer the question. What question is that, Cam? What question is that? Anthony writes, Smitherman was part of setting her up for failure. They gave her one of the worst setups down there. The spot was small with only one bathroom. Yeah, hindsight. Let me see. Cam writes, Cincinnati black media buck breaking is easy for the other side. Pay to play. Cincinnati black media buck breaking is easy for the other side. Pay to play. Okay. Jeffrey writes, what up, Nate? Jeffrey Prather checking in from Hamilton, Ohio. Longtime listener. What's up with you, Jeffrey? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Drops in the house. He writes, Cream, get the cash in. Graston writes, PG's got court tomorrow. How is that not news? He does have court tomorrow. That should be news. We'll see what happens. As I understand it, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think the motion to dismiss is what is going to be the business before the court tomorrow. So that'll be interesting. I'm anticipating that the judge will allow the case to go forward. That's what I'm anticipating, but we'll see. We'll see. Charles writes, like Megatron told Optimus Prime, it's over for PG winning a mayoral election. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Glenn writes, some MF talking ish about Lincoln Ware you will see in his Facebook live chat room, yucking it up and capping on his show. Talk about busters. Let me see. Crystal writes, that's not true, Nathan. What's not true, Crystal? What's not true? Nat writes, Hallie better pay that bill. She better, and she will. She got enough money, I would imagine. Brenda writes, am I the only one not seeing Nathan? No. My cam is down, but the show continues. I'll put the cam back up here in a minute. Second. Somebody writes, John Cranley is a crook, is he? Danita writes, damn, Nate, just dropped the mic like that? Cam writes, I never danced for Cube. I corrected you and you got in your feelings and emotions. Oh, revisionist history. Oh, I got in my feelings and emotions, brother. Come on, man. Roll the tape. That's not quite what happened. I think you got in your feelings and emotions over what I had to say about that was true. That was right about by point of fact I was right about. But I think really what happened is you got in your feelings, Cam. That's really what happened. Graston writes, I took nothing from the mayor. That's the difference. Leakin took money. Hashtag sellout. No, you took something from the mayor. You took something from the mayor. Don't act like you didn't get nothing out of it. You did get something out of it. Quit lying. You was down there at the NAACP. Check this out. You had Rob Richardson, you had Yvette Simpson, and you had John Cranley. You remember Rob Richardson didn't make it out of the primary. Oh, by the way, we'll be talking to Rob Richardson this week. He's got some interesting stuff he wants to share about the real shadow government here in the city of Cincinnati. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm about all of that. So, and then you was down there at the NAACP. I'll never forget it because you was sitting like right in front of me or to the side of me. I'm sitting there, and you and the Mac twins came in with your John Cranley t-shirts on with the NAACP forum. You got a black female that's running, right, to try to give this city something it's never had before. And you down there with a John Cranley t-shirt on, stumping for John Cranley, who at the time there was a big question mark about exactly what the SBE numbers are or were, and we still don't really know. It was a whole lot of confusion. Go to the website. Remember this? You go to the website, you can never find it. Well, because you doubt what our numbers are, our commitment, then go to our website. Even the local media, like Legacy Media, was struggling to figure out what the numbers were. Nobody knew. But then you want to talk about sellout. Come on, man. Please. Please, brother. Danita writes, did Cranley ever pull kids out of poverty? No. He put together a blue ribbon commission. They got a website up that looks real cool. And he threw his hands up and said, we need more help from the state. And he walked away from it. And he walked away from it and never walked back to it. That's it. Cam writes, proof is you just did it again, Nate. Get over it. I just did what again, Cam? Correct you? Okay, that's not a big deal. That's not a big deal. Cash writes, okay, Nate, I'm here for it. I'm here for it too. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Marcia writes, speak that truth, Nathan. Oh, absolutely. Susan writes, he was wearing that John Cranley t-shirt with so much pride too. Oh, you saw it? Man, listen, him and the Mac boys, they was down there, big smiles on. They were so happy to have John Cranley's name. Feelings. You got the good feelings. Down there disrupting, getting loud. And then Brother David Whitehead was like, nah, B, y'all gonna have to do that outside. And what'd you do? You got your ass up and walked outside and didn't come back in with that nonsense. And they was right to do that because here is the NAACP putting on a forum for the community. You down there trying to disrupt it with a John Cranley t-shirt on. And then you want to flash forward and you got the nerve to talk about Lincoln Ware? Are you kidding me, bro? Are you serious right now? Yo, B, stop it. Stop it. Like I said, on some other shows, they'll let you get away with that because they don't know. Over here, I was right there. I'm telling you what I saw with my own eyes, not what somebody told me, not what I saw on Facebook, what I witnessed myself. And it was despicable. I was just shaking my head like, really? So we doing out here? It was so happy to have John Cranley's t-shirt on that day. Had your little chest poked out and everything. And now you want to talk about sellouts. Negro, stop. Stop it. Oh, stop it. Crystal writes, Yvette Simpson's glow up is exactly what Cincy gets. She is making big moves as she should. Hashtag Black Excellence. Hashtag ABC. Right. Everything happens for a reason, so it's supposed to happen that way, I guess. So it is what it is. Anthony writes, unfortunately, we have some brothers who will stomp for white massa just so they can sit at his feet and get their 15 minutes of fame. And that's exactly what he got out of it. I was at the after party. I saw you cheesing up. You couldn't get come on, Graxy. Now you know who you talking to, bro. You already know I was at the after party. I was right there when y'all was hugging up and taking pictures with Cranley. Y'all was high-fiving like you had actually won something. Like you had actually won something. So that's what you got out of it. You did get a payoff. You got the good feelings of being a black face for John Cranley. And he took a selfie with you afterward. And you could posted it. And he gave you some attaboys. And that was about it. But you did get something out of it, though. I'm just saying, I mean, if we're going to do this, then let's do it all the way. If we're going to hold the whole sellout thing, let's do it all the way then. All the way around. Let's put it all on the table. Sheila writes, Nathan is telling the truth. I am. I was right there. It blew my mind. I'm like, damn, what we doing? Got a whole room full of black folks. And you in there with a John Cranley t-shirt on. It was blue and white lettering. I'll never forget it. It was a letter. You probably still got it in your collection. But now you gonna call out blackness in the city? You. Negro, please. Stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. I mean, and you calling out Irish Rowley? Come on, man. I mean, nobody is above reproach. Anybody can be critiqued, but I mean, come on, bro. We really trying to do that this morning? Come on, man. Oh, man. Danita asks an excellent question. How did re-electing Cranley help the black community at all? We'll wait for that one. Excellent question. How? Like, this city loves to criticize black people. Look at what happened with Liz Riser. She became the face of how you can't trust black entrepreneurs, right? And then there was people out there that tried to do the same thing with Yvette Simpson. Now, I don't know. I haven't talked to Yvette about this. I mean, I don't know. You know, you have to go back and see for yourself as to what you think and who you agree with and who you believe in, things like that. But if you go back to that children's hospital conversation, there's people out there on both sides of it. Personally, I understood what Sis was trying to do. It made perfect sense. She was doing, like, we think that the only side that city council members can take is of developers. Like, you have to always be pro-development, no matter what the development, no matter what the impact, no matter what the community agreement is. You got to go for it because it's a chance to turn a vacant lot into something more beautiful or more efficient. But when you have people who say, you know what, Avondale needs more, all of a sudden they don't understand business. Remember how they try to play Yvette Simpson? Oh, she's anti-development. She's anti-children's hospital. How are you anti-children's hospital? Because you're simply saying that the deal that's on the table might not be enough. See, in this city, we've gone far too long with the developers telling us what's the best deal. This is the best we can do. Hey, we're willing to do this. Hold on. That's the reason why we have city council members to look at the deal and assess as to whether it's good enough. I remember it was Yvette Simpson and Wendell Young. They had all these community meetings. Even the people in Avondale, the community council was asking for more. What's wrong with that? It's called a deal. You get something, I get something. Period. If it don't balance out, then why do the deal? But there was people, and it was a lot, and it was Graxton, who at the time was running around here on some anti-black female stuff. And then you got the nerve, bro. It's like the nerve. You got the nerve that bring that up here in front of me. Yo, dude, knock it off, man. Knock it off. We ain't playing those games on the Nathan Ivey Show. This ain't nobody else. This, you know where you are. I'm going to call it out. That is ridiculous. That is preposterous, quite honestly. But, you know, we can all believe in what we want to believe in. Cam is still mad at me. He writes, the feeling I caught was a feeling of correcting an error. I feel was being made, not to point of slander names, though. I've been over because it was nothing but obviously the other party has not. LOL. Okay, I'm not sure what any of that means, Cam, but whatever, brother. We can always agree to disagree. We can always agree, disagree. Fame writes, hey, Nathan, when does the Brit and Cash show start? I got some audio that I'm sure the audience will enjoy. Okay, I'll let you know. I'll let you know. I will let you know. Yes, Melanin Insight podcast with Brit and Cass is coming soon to CDM, and looking forward to it. I think you're going to enjoy it. They talk about numerous things through the lens, through a melanated lens. We just taped another episode yesterday. You'll hear it real soon. But I want to put that up because I want to make sure everybody knows what is coming. So I'll let you know, brother. I'll let you know. There was no reason, this is TNT, she writes, there was no reason for Smitherman to attack her. And this city's media ate up all his orchestrated drama until her business was destroyed. All that just to give the spot to some white business owner with their own questionable businesses. Man, you had people down there. There was somebody, and I'll never forget this. There was someone who was in the witness protection program. He was a former mobster. I'm not making this up. And he owned a business on the banks. And his business was given some support via the city and the county. And his business went under. And nobody said a word. I speak facts to you, family. This person was in the witness protection program, was a former mobster working with the feds. And I didn't know you could have business interests like that when you in the federal witness protection program, but I know it sounds fantastic, but these are 100% Googleable. You can Google these facts. And nobody said a word about that business going under. But the black female, oh man, she became a lightning rod. Not to say that everything was perfect, but I'm just saying. Cam writes, you did not answer Grasson's question about the buck breaking payment from PG, Nate. I don't know anything about a buck breaking payment. Who was broken? What buck was broken? I don't know. It needs to be more clear. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Are you talking about, I think that from what I read, that PG made a donation to Lincoln's charity, I think it is. I think Lincoln does I think his charity is his walking club, which I think is a really good thing. I'm pro walker myself. But I think people really overplay $2,500 or $5,000. I mean, there is no limit. There is no amount of money for a person's integrity, in my opinion, at least not my integrity. You know what I'm saying? Like if you work with me and you invest in me, and I tell the same thing to any of our platform sponsors, you don't get editorialization. You don't get that. You know, that's not a part of the deal. You know, if you invest as a sponsor on this platform, then I will 100% and overperform for you, but you don't get to tell me what to do. So I don't think that one has anything to do with the other. You know, if you're a sponsor on this show, we're not going to sit down and have conversations about the topics that we have. If you're a sponsor for any of the podcasts that I work with, you don't get a chance to tell the podcaster what to say or what not to say. That's not how that works. We simply are giving you visibility, and of course, per our arrangement, whatever you're giving us, nothing more than that. So I get it. I mean, people can have their perceptions, but the reality, I think, is a little bit different. Anthony writes, money Link went to his walking club, not his pocket. What the hell is $2,500 going to do these days anyway? Right. Yeah, I mean, I haven't talked to Lincoln about this, but I know that Lincoln and PG have a personal relationship. If you were asking me, and nobody is, but since we're talking about this, if you were asking me as to why Lincoln did that, I would probably tell you it has probably a lot more to do with a personal relationship than it has to do with a $25 payment. That would just be me. $2,500, I mean, it depends on what you're doing with it, but that ain't changing the game per se for anybody that I know of. But okay, I'm pro $2,500 though. I mean, as opposed to being anti. But that's how I see it. Crystal writes, looking like a Gilligan sandwich walking in with the Mac twins, LOL. Yeah, he said, look, a Gilligan, not a Gilligan sandwich, but a Gilligan sandwich. That's hilarious. Yeah, I remember just like it was yesterday. I won't put anybody else out there, but it was some other folks in the audience that was there. I mean, obviously, the folks from the NAACP were there because it was their event. And it was over at the Community Action Agency. It was hilarious. It was funny. I'll never forget it. Never forget it. So now you want to question blackness. Where was your blackness at? When you was out here stumping for the white male Democrat over the black female Democrat who was far more progressive. And if you look at her background was far more emblematic of the reality of Cincinnatians than that of John Cranley from what I understand. If I'm wrong in that, set me straight, but I'm just saying. Glenn writes, John Cranley t-shirts on? ? Over Yvette Simpson, a black woman? They are sellouts, right? So again, I mean, it's like the pot calling the kettle black. You know what I'm saying? That's hilarious. Sister Iris writes, Taylor, goodness gracious, I remember that. Yeah, I was there. Nat writes, Cranley is trash. Trash can Cranley. Come on, think about what he did going back. Again, we won't even talk about black leadership. We won't even talk about what happened with the former police chief. We'll put all that aside. We won't even talk about what happened with Harry Black. We'll put all that to the side, right? I mean, I've heard some stories about John Cranley, as it relates to interacting with black folks, and it ain't good. It ain't good. What I've heard from Cranley is on a personal tip, he's cool. On the political tip, he will cut you. I'm just saying. Let me see. Maurice writes, yeah, Cranley is a crook. I know someone that knows him. Let me write, so proud of Yvette Simpson. Akeem writes, LOL, Negro, stop. TNT writes, Nate is not lying. We know, right? I was right there. And now you want to talk about selling out? Come on, we can't do that, bro. Cam writes, but you still butthurt, evidently. You brought up a call from 3 months ago that's what I'm talking about. You are the master at deflection, LOL. I brought up the call because I still think the call was funny as hell. I thought it was funny then. I just backed away because I could tell that you were super sensitive about it. I'm like, I'm just going to leave it alone. But now we got a little bit of time. It's still funny. Hopefully, you've mended your little wounds and you ain't going to be all super sensitive about it like you were before, Cam. I mean, come on, man. Let's not. What's it's President's Day. Oh, I get it. I'm like, what's up with the choppers today? Okay, cool. I'm here for this. I'm here for all of this. So no, that's not what really happened, brother. You know what I'm saying? That's not what really happened, but I'm glad to see we both over it. He says, I'm a master of deflection. Sometimes when I need to be, yeah, I am. When I need to be. Glenn writes, Nate, wait a minute. Did you just really say they tried to disrupt an NAACP meeting while wearing John Cranley t-shirts? The fuck? Are you serious? I'm 100% serious. That's exactly what happened. And then you got the nerve to talk about selling out the black community? Bro, stop. Stop it. Stop it. No. You can't have it both ways. You can't do that and then come back and now you the voice for the black community talking about who's to sell out, who's not to sell out. We can't do that. We can't do that, man. That ain't right. Cranley is trash. That's Nat. Crystal writes, popping champagne like y'all won a championship game. Shaking my head. Crystal, they were. I was right there. I forget the name of the establishment. It's down there on I can see it in my mind's eye. I can't recall it though, but I can see it in my mind's eye. And it was down there, man, you would have thought that they had won like something. They was so happy. The other thing is that, Jeff Pastor won that night. So they were super happy about that too. So it was a mixed thing. It was happy for Jeff Pastor. And then it was happy for Cranley. They was taking ussies. Another round on for the crew. Another round of shots for everybody. I just added that last part. I didn't really see that. Cincinnati, Herman Cain, and John Cranley. Graston writes, I didn't get $2,500 from the mayor. Lincoln taking big difference. I mean, that's what you say. Well, we don't really know what you got paid, quite honestly, Graxton. We don't, I mean, I don't know about you, but I hope you got something out of it. Because if you didn't get nothing out of it, you's dumb as hell. You think I'm going to be down there with a Cranley t-shirt on, disrupting the NAACP's forum for the public, and he's running against a black female named Yvette Simpson? For me to do something like that, man, I can't even think what the dollar amount would be. I would hope you got paid off of it. Because if you didn't, you dumb. At least Lincoln got $2,500. You ain't getting shit. How's that smart? That's even worse, Graxton. What? Make it make sense, B. That's even worse. You ain't getting nothing out of it, but you got some ussies with the mayor. You got a ussie. You got a ussie. Lincoln got $2,500. Who's the dummy? Who's the Gilligan? Come on, bro. How far we want to take this morning? I tell you what, just let's end it back and forth. Just give us a call this morning and we can talk it out. 513-873-7134, because I know you have a point. I know you have a point. I know you have a point. I know it's there. I'm not sure what it is, but I know it's there. And I just want to give you an opportunity to get your point in. All right. All right. So we got a call coming in. I don't think this is Black Russia. This is John from Princeton, New Jersey. Hey, good morning, John. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Nathan Ivy, and the good people of Cincinnati, as well as the people around the world, and yes, the choppers. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome.
Before we get to the foolishness of the Republicans and the Democrats, you know, I think that was Drop you were talking to, I think the last caller you had on. And you and him were going back and forth over the actress. Her name escapes me. It's been waiting us so long. And her crisis and what she was dealing with. What's her name? The actress, the African-American.
Halle Berry?
Halle Berry. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Her name just dropped out of my head fast. Halle Berry. It's nothing new about her situation and what she's gone through. Men in her life. Wesley Snipes. Everybody forget about that. She was abused with him. You know, it's nothing new. And I don't want to just point fingers at her. A lot of African-American women have gone through this situation before, up and down. But let's try to put blame where it really belongs. It goes all the way back to slavery. Divide the family up, conquer, rape, torture Black women, divide women, and push women to the platform that they are now, and still divide. Yes, the white men are still playing the game, even though they're pushing Black women to the highest level in corporations. Vice President, and yes, Ms. Harris is on her way to become president. That's going to happen within 2 years. Biden family is not going to finish 4 years. We'll deal with that another time. But to get back Halle Berry's story and stories of African-American women that have gone through this situation, this is nothing new. We've seen this dance before. And this dance will continue. I think we as Black men have to support our Black women, and Black women have to continue supporting Black men, despite the situation that we're dealing with in this country. The power within, or should we say, the slave masters in this country and around the world, always want to divide us, get us fighting among ourselves, push one group against the other group, call them the field Negro and the house Negro, get them to fight, and nothing gets done. And they divide and conquer the family. So that will continue. But one of the issues you and Drop was talking about, which caught my attention to call in, was her disturbance of paying alimony. We don't know what the court order is. And yes, judges and court systems across the country are turning the other way and not putting too much blame to the Black men, men across the country and Black men and now saying, you women are making a lot of money. This man that doesn't have custody of his child, I'm going to fix that. I'm going to even the table a little bit. And if you're making more money than him and he's fighting to get custody of that child, well, we're seeing cases like this where courts are granting demand of custody and the women have to pay. Now, in Holly Berry's case, I don't know her total financial situation. I'm sure she owns property, and it doesn't seem like she's been doing too much work lately because she's disturbed and she's not working, not making money. So, and you're paying a big giant mortgage for that mansion and whatever properties that she might own. I don't know her situation, but you can read between the tea leaves. And she's going to have to either get back to work and pay whatever the court orders, or she needs to suck it up and sit down with the ex and figure out a way of getting through this with the child, but without having the child to take the burden with all this mess. And you don't want to disturb the child where the child sees the fighting going on. I've seen cases like this. My first job coming out of college was the Union County Probation Office in New Jersey. And my caseload was 300 divorce cases. And between 9 and 3 o'clock, them women, if they weren't getting that payment every two weeks, well, they were screaming, calling me up. He's not paying. You know the court order. Honey, I know the court order. Will you give me a couple of weeks to straighten up the file that I took over from the previous hippie that had the file that did nothing? So, and I straightened it all up and I got things back on track that was liking to me. And I was the top investigator every month. But what I found, I'm not trying to blow my horn, but what I found with those cases is, and hopefully you black women are listening as well as black men, most of the time with the fighting going on, both parents put the child in the middle, and that's not good. And I would say to both parents that he wasn't talking to her, she wasn't talking to him, and I'd tell them both, stop. Regardless of how both of you feel, yeah, you're probably not going to get back together no more. But the court order, and I made it clear to the man, the court order states you're supposed to pay X amount of dollars. And if you don't pay, then it's my job to find out why. Okay, yeah, you might have broke your leg, you're out of work, you're sick. I gave you some leeway room. I gave you plenty of time to get it together. And I tried to calm the ex down because she didn't want to listen. But I was telling both parents, do not put the child in the middle of your fighting. You made these babies. You don't want to talk. You decide you want a divorce, but don't blame it on the child. And most of the time, the child was caught right in the middle of the foolishness. So Holly Berry, she made her bed in and out of relationships, marriages, some people may say, well, she picked the wrong guys. We're not sitting in her shoes. Some of it was bad decisions and abuse, and she may need some healing therapy. And a lot of black women across the country may need abuse, healing and therapy, and black men too. I'm not going to leave them out of these scenario. But once again, as I stated earlier, it comes down to slavery. And some of us cannot figure this out. 300, 400 years of abuse in this country will continue until we as black people stop drinking the Kool-Aid, get off the plantation, and come together as one. It's nice to hear it in the White House, State House, the mayor's office, and in the outhouse and every place. But it comes down to doing the right thing. I have a doctor appointment. I got to take that tonight. I'm going to hang up because she's just coming in. But I just had to get that off. Thank you very much for my time.
All right. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. Anthony writes, Smitherman used her to show white people how he would be a pit bull against black people. That's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did when he came to Liz Rogers. Couldn't understand it. Like literally, it went on for months, people. Months. People be hitting me messages like, man, are you hearing him going in and in like every show? And he did exactly what he was trying to do, but yet we want to call somebody else sellouts? Come on, man. That's the epitome of a sellout when you're trying to use somebody else, another black person, to push yourself forward, but you're going to diss them while you're doing it. Tracy writes, Nathan straight up forgot about John. I didn't forget about him. I mean, we just got him in. I wanted to get him in when it was time to get him in. Dale writes, Nate, did you forget about John? No, we just heard from him. trash can naming rights are for Melvin. Trash can. That rights, Yvette would have been so much better than that little Trump. Cranley has gone after so many black people. I lost count, right? Tony writes, I bet John is like, what about me? Graston writes, Cranley versus DeWine for Ohio Governor 2022. We passed 2017 talk show hosts and focused on other stuff. Okay, I'm just saying. I mean, we're going to put it out there, put it all out there. There go, okay, there go Liz. What's up, Liz? She right, hello, the comeback is real. So much hate, right? Yeah, you came up this morning, sis. Mofo's trying to use some revisionist history. They're trying to forget about how Smitherman made a name for himself in anti-black media here locally by talking about you and talking about your business. And so I just had to remind some people this morning, like, don't forget. Let's not get brand new. Now Graston talking about we don't want to talk about old stuff. Okay. All right. As I said, I spoke with Liz many times. She can tell you just what that did to the environment around her business. And by that, I'm talking about what Smitherman, Christopher Smitherman, black man, what he did and what he was trying to do by constantly bringing her name up, criticizing her after the city had already made the decision. It is what it is. They made the decision. This city has made all kinds of deals over the years in an effort to spur development. But when a black female is involved, all of a sudden, it's the worst thing ever. And because Liz isn't out in the media talking about what people forget, but I haven't forgotten. I remember what it went down. I'm like, damn, bro, you talking about you got to do your duty. Like, I mean, you got elected. Yeah, do your duty. But he went way beyond that. And that's because I'm talking about Christopher Smitherman, was trying to use that whole situation with Mahoganies to make himself look good to non-black audiences, to non-black media. And it worked. Like, look, yeah, support me because I'm willing to keep it real, even about another black person, right? And the audience went for it hook, line, and sinker. So let's not forget. Cleopatra writes, rise and shine, everyone. Good to see you. Hey, what's up, Liz? Good to see you. Crystal writes, Chopper's got time today, Nate. Little family conflict, no big deal. It's all love. Oh, absolutely. Drop writes, did you forget about John? No, I did not. Let me see. Cam writes, run the payment through my walking club account. That will make it look legit. What you talking about? Lincoln and PG? So you think again, think what you want to think. I don't know, man. $2,500 ain't a whole lot of money, for my integrity. If my integrity was for sale, it would have at least 6 figures on it. 4 figures, 5 figures, it ain't enough. And 6 figures ain't enough, quite honestly. So I think that sounds good, but it just doesn't make a lot of sense. And then when you have a nonprofit, don't you have to report where the money goes and stuff like that? I think they're making T-shirts and water bottles and stuff like that. I don't know the business. I'm not in anybody's business. I'm just saying I can understand why people want to run with it. I can see it on the surface, but just beneath the surface, I think it was more about personal relationships than anything else. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what it comes down to. Greg writes, I need to make a move and see if I can hunt down some melting salt at Kroger. On another topic, I saw the movie Judas and the Black Messiah this weekend. I really liked it. I heard a few things about Fran Hampton's story before, but I think the movie really encourages viewers to learn more. Oh, absolutely. Terrence is in the house. Brother Forte, he writes, good morning, Choppers. Stay safe. Tiffany writes, I don't trust any politicians. Good morning to you, Tiffany, host of the Community Connector podcast. I understand that completely. I understand it completely. 100%. Good morning to you. Nat writes, John's about to totally change the topic. You already know. Terrence writes, Lincoln needs to keep his beef with him and Tracy. He needs to leave my mom and family out of the quarrels. I would agree with that. Let me see here. Cam writes, the Clark education is showing itself this morning. LOL. The Clark education. I went to Peter H. Clark Academy. That what you mean? In high school? Yeah, I went there in high school. Oh, man. Feelings, nothing more than feelings. Letty writes, great morning, Nathan Ivy and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Tony writes, John, you had time to get this call together. He did have enough time. Let me see. Maurice writes, we need to stop allowing our women to be mistreated and disrespected. Again, Liz Rogers is here. She can speak better than anybody else about the culture that was created by Smitherman. So don't hit me with all that pro-black stuff from Smitherman, because where were you? You had an opportunity to deal with it. Like, for instance, if you felt like the deal was a bad deal, you got every right to say that. Say your piece. But I think his critiques, oh, excellent. I got the picks, Cass. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, hold on one second here. Let me send it to you. Hold on one second here. I did have a guest scheduled for this morning, and I want to make sure that if it's possible to bring the brother on, then we can do that. Give me 1 second here. We'll do it through a Zoom call. Hold on. I had this conversation. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. All right, brother. I thought I already sent the link to him. All right. So we might be getting a Zoom call here in a second. All right. Because I would love to talk to this brother. He said there's some interesting things happening in the city that I think would be interesting for our conversation this morning. Tracy writes, here we go, disrespecting black women again. Oh, boy. Let me see. I feel a now to my main point political non-voter commentary coming up, right? We know with John. People like, oh, Lord. John, stop, please. John can't win for losing, man. He cannot win for losing. Janice writes, John, get out. Glenn writes, oh, Lord, time to hang up. Tony writes, it a booty call in John's flows? LOL, right. He had to get out quick. Dwayne writes, Pac-Man arrested in Hamilton County again. Does he get a pass from Joe? Yes, he will get a pass for Joe. He will, because he did something for Joe Dieters in terms of that campaign ad he did. So I'm sure Joe will just make this all go away, right? And then you never know the details. It might be something that even though he got arrested, he might be found innocent. We don't know. I don't know the details. I do know that it involved assaulting a man that apparently was assaulted, and Pac-Man Jones rendered the man unconscious. That's all the deals that's all the details I have. He could have been justified for all we know. Could be Pac-Man's one of them dudes that wherever he goes, people like to test him. And so sometimes they pass the test, sometimes they don't. Cincinnati, the seeping slavery town, shaking my head. Tracy writes, but PG was never mentioned as a sponsor. Sponsor to what exactly? Let me see. A real brother would have tried to get the sister the best possible deal and location from the get on. Oh, forget you have to be for black for that to happen. Angela writes, is it just my screen in the middle? You can see his arms moving. It might just be your screen this morning. I'm not sure. Cam writes, LD education counts as well, as in learning disabled. Crystal writes, well, Clark is one of the best schools in the district, FYI. Yeah, I'm not even sure what Cam is talking about. Like, is he talking about me? Because I graduated from Peter H. Clark Academy, or is he talking about Clark Montessori? What are you talking about, Cam? I have no idea, man. I'm a little bit lost, brother. You're going to have to, you way over my head this morning. You're going to have to help me out. I don't know. Okay, now, hold on, everything. I got a special guest coming in, Rob Richardson. Now, if you're not hip to Rob Richardson, he does a show called Disruption Now. Matter of fact, it's more than just a show. He's got a whole platform that he's building out to make a connection with creators, creatives, entrepreneurs. And you'll see him from time to time on the Roland Martin Show delivering commentary, but he's Cincinnati based, and we got him backstage. Let's see if we can get him on here. Hey, what's up, Rob?
Hey, what's going on? Can you hear me?
I can't hear you, man. I can't hear you. My apologies on that. There it is.
Problem.
We good. Oh, we good. We go there. What's up, brother? Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. How are you?
I cannot complain, man. I cannot complain. Now, I've been teasing the audience that you were going to come in and talk about the real shadow government, right? You didn't go in great detail, but you told me there were some things that you wanted to make sure that the public knew about. But for folks who might be hearing you for the first time, just kind of talk about yourself and what you're doing now.
Yeah, first of all, Nathan, I appreciate the time, and I do appreciate all the work that you're doing. As you alluded, I've some people may know that I ran for office, and I decided to do something else to really get my voice out. So we started Disruption Now, and it really started off of the reason why I got involved in public service. And if you don't know my story, it's I was told very, very, very early on that there was no way I would be able to go to college or achieve. I have a learning disability, ADHD, and I struggled in school initially until about the 8th grade. But then I told my teacher and my counselors, I said, look, I want to do more. I can achieve more. And they were basically like, no, Rob, you can't. Like, look at your past record. It's not going to happen for you. Thankfully, the words of my mother gave me better encouragement and gave me a much better motivational speech. She said, look, Rob, you don't have to be defined by anyone's low or narrow expectations of you. You define yourself, for yourself, by yourself. And so, Nathan, I've had success and I've been able to go on and have success. But I know a lot of people get trapped by what I describe as those constructs or those narratives that people try to ascribe to us. And so my goal is to empower Black and brown artists, entrepreneurs, to not get confined, to not be defined by others. So that's why we started the platform, and that's what I'm doing now, and I'm proud to do it.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people have seen you with on Roland Martin Show too. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I got involved with Roland through I did a lot in the media, right? So after I stopped running for office, I got involved and just started really just appearing on different shows, and I got invited to the Roland Martin Show, and then they wanted me to come on a regular basis. So Roland and I have developed a pretty good collaboration and friendship. He's gonna be a guest. He's on my show. We've already taped it, so that that's gonna be coming up. So thankful for those opportunities just to get out and spread the message and the gospel of Disruption Now.
Oh, that's going to be dope. And I appreciate it. You had me on your show as well. It was a great time. We had a great conversation.
I look forward to having you more. And I want to tell you, I think your show is very powerful. It's needed because we need to have a real independent voice that's not going to just reinforce narratives of the media, which is what we see, which is what we're going to get to as we talk about this story that's going on with the corruption in City Hall and the allegations of corruption. Because I don't think, in fact, I know the media has been very lazy in the narratives that they put out.
Okay, let's get to it. So this morning we've been having this conversation about PG, and somebody in the audience brought up the fact that there's another member of the media, Lincoln Ware, that signed on to it. PG, I know PG, a lot of folks do as well. And he's putting up his defense right now. And I keep reminding people that you are innocent until proven guilty.
Absolutely.
But I understand how it works. I mean, you get these charges, especially from the feds. The perception is they wouldn't go this far if they didn't have something on you. And I get it. But you also signed on to that letter as well. Am I correct about that?
You're correct.
Yeah. So talk about, why you signed it and what your perception of that whole situation involving PG is.
So first of all, let's go along with what you said. I know this is not necessarily your belief, but it's the belief of a lot of people that the feds wouldn't go this far unless they had something, right? Did you get a chance to watch Judas and the Black Messiah?
Not yet.
Nathan?
Not yet.
Okay. So, I mean, it's public information. I'm not going to ruin it all for you. It was a great, great, great movie. So everybody watch it. But when you look at that and you look at what the feds did with Dr. Martin Luther King, you look at what the feds did with Malcolm X. Here's the thing. When the feds get a narrative in their head, they follow that narrative until they get it completed. So I believe this was the same thing that happened with PG, because I looked at now I'm also an attorney, as people may know, and I don't practice in the area of criminal law, so I'm gonna say that, but I know enough to be dangerous. I've done a little bit of work in it, and I've represented some people against the feds and make sure that they didn't get charges. So I've seen this play out. I've seen this play out where they got a narrative and they say, okay, some people did something wrong, so everybody's corrupt. So now we're going to go after until we find something. So let's back up. There was a 2-year investigation, and I looked at this, and I looked at this. I looked at the allegations written in, and to me, even the allegations as written would be very hard to actually come up with a prosecution based upon cases that the FBI has failed in the past. You could look and see other cases that had a lot more evidence of quote unquote corruption, and they got thrown out because what they're trying to say, and is first of all, I don't like the way this prosecutor has handled all of these cases. He went out and tried to go out of his way to like embarrass Tamaya Denard, like she's already been sentenced, and he made light of her case and made fun of it. Like, you don't go on podcasts to do that. You are a prosecutor that's supposed to be pursuing the facts, not out there making political commentary and making fun of the people that you just had arrested. So I think that was out of bounds. So, back to this, they went on a 2-year investigation and they worked to try to get something on PG. And every time they tried to talk about, well, yes, we want you to do this, or we'll give you this. And no, I'm not doing that. I vote for development deals no matter what. And if you want to contribute, fine. I'm going to tell you that if that sends him to jail, it will be nearly 80% of politicians that are going to jail for that. Because that by itself, if someone wants to give you support and you take it, does not make it a crime. Now, if you make it conditioned upon, I will only do this if you give me money, that is a crime. But that I didn't see that alleged even. So I think it's a much harder case than they make out. I think their goal was basically to put it out there and hurt him politically. And I don't think that's a place for the FBI to do that, though we know the FBI can be very political.
Okay, well said. I wanted to put that out there because I know you are a lawyer, and I feel similarly. I feel very similar about looking at it. Of course, I don't have that legal expertise and lens to look at it, but appreciate the comments because there's a lot of conversation about it. But again, along those lines, there's been this conversation about shadow government and corruption at City Hall. And, you said you got an interesting story and or experiences with that. So what have you seen? What's your take on it?
I did. So some of the listeners may not know that I was chairman of the board of the University of Cincinnati. And, so during my time, there was a hard push and effort by some, specifically by a person I'm going to mention that becomes very relevant to what we're talking about here in terms of this shadow government. Peter Gableman is the attorney for really the banks. And I would love for you and everybody else just look up the record of how much money he's made. It's in the millions, right? So every time these developments happen, he makes a lot of money, and he has an interest, a vested interest. He's a lawyer for them. I get it. So that's the goal. And his goal is to really help just to get the development done. And so they wanted the University of Cincinnati, and it's a lot into this, but I'll just try to give you the minimum here. They wanted to push the law school to go downtown, and I was sold, and the board was sold this bag of goods that I knew wasn't the truth, right? It was like, well, if you guys do this, we can guarantee you that we're going to raise you $30 million. And so before I came in and before we put a motion on to say we're going to look at this, I said, give me the money up front. Like, we're not going to do this. So we will do this conditioned upon the money coming up front. And so, I switched. I became chair because the chair behind me really, really wanted this to happen. He was all for it. And I was always cautious. And I was like, I don't think they're going to do that. They said, yeah, it's going to do it. I said, we'll put it in writing and say only if they give us the money first, then we'll go down there. All right, so guess what? Month or two, no money. Second month, no money. Third month, no money, no money. You kind of getting the trend here. They're like, well, Rob, we're going to get it. We just need you guys to commit to doing this. And so I got to a point where I said, we're going to make a decision to not go down there if the money's not coming. I knew the money wasn't coming. And it was all types of pressure from him, pushing, and threatening my future political career. Like we know you're going to run for office. All this, I mean, they did a lot of threats. They threatened other people on the board. I believe they took away contracts from some of these members because these are powerful people who are down here who are trying to get this to happen, and they were really pissed, right? So it wasn't just me. Like the board made the decision. It was a close decision. It was a 5-4 decision. The papers played it out as, oh well, there would have been this great opportunity to move downtown, like the Enquirer, and they didn't vote for it 5-4. But there was much more to that. They were trying to do something that nobody wanted. The administration didn't want it. The students didn't want it. The faculty didn't want it. Peter Gableman and the people he represented wanted it, but it wasn't in the best interest for the university. It would have cost us it would have cost us in the upwards of $25 to $50 million. But it would have helped them, and they didn't care. And I can say this pretty confidently. If I wasn't chair, it probably would have gone through. And I'm proud that didn't go through. It was a bad deal for the university. But these are the type of tactics that Peter Gableman does. And so when they have this guy out to be like some good Samaritan, I don't know what happened with him and Tamaya in terms of how exactly it happened, but this is what I'm very certain of. It wasn't like he was looking out as some good Samaritan to how he can make sure he can look out for taxpayer dollars. It was something else.
And this is the guy who Tamaya Denard reached out to get a loan in
Correct.
exchange for perhaps, going along with some deals that he was involved in. And then allegedly he was so alarmed by it that he went to the feds and then started cooperating with the feds, even wore a wire, I believe.
Yep.
And then to help get more incriminating evidence on Tamaya Denard. Okay. And you
Yeah.
said, so what were kind of things they were saying to you to try to intimidate you about your future?
I mean, stuff like that. Like, well, we know you want to run for office. Why are you holding this deal up? These are powerful people. The same type of, the same type of threats they make to other people. Like, why would you, this is not something you've thought about. They would insult your intelligence. I mean, they do everything. Thankfully, they didn't have any way to really get at what I do. I didn't work for any major corporation that they can go after. So if I did, they would have. I guarantee it.
That's deep out there. So when you hear about now city council's got I think it's going to be 2 issues on the ballot, right? And they're trying to change corruption. They're going to put legislation in place to stop it.
Yeah.
What's your take on that? Is that going to stop corruption? The fact that now Tamaya Denard is no longer on council, you got Pastor and Sinfield who've been suspended. Is this the end of corruption in City Hall now?
No. I think it's generally when people pass these laws, they're usually reactionary and they're usually pretty stupid. It's probably not going to do anything. No, not probably. It's not going to do anything because what happens is I don't hear anybody saying, well, okay, why are developers that have business in front of the city council allowed to give money at the level that they can? Like, I hear nobody saying, well, maybe they shouldn't give money, but they're still there. They're even part of the quote unquote reform efforts. I mean, a lot of this has to do with specifically developers, and I'm not anti-development. I'm very pro-development. I just don't believe that developers should be paying to have their development deals. They can pay a couple $1,000s and turn around and get $1 million deal from the city. We should be doing these developments because they're in the best interest of the city.
I'm with you 100% on that. And then some people have suggested that if you're a developer with business before the city, that you shouldn't be allowed to make campaign contributions. What do you think about that?
Say that again.
I said some people have suggested that if you have a development deal before the city of Cincinnati, that you shouldn't be allowed to make campaign contributions.
I agree. So the short answer is I agree with that. So this is how it works in a lot of for finance. So I know this because I ran for treasurer. So people that do business with the treasurer's office, or at least they're limited, like they can only give $200 and they have to live and be able to vote for you. So there should be some type of real limitation or transparency at a minimum. Like even if you're going to give money, fine. It should be very clear then what deals you have tied to City Hall. And the public should be able to see it and shine a bright light on it. So to me, at a minimum, okay, if you're going to allow people to give, then fine. Then at least be able to show, and the public can be easily see where the money is going.
Crystal writes that she takes exception to you comparing what the FBI did to the Black Panthers to PG. So I get your point, but do you want to clarify just so she understands?
Sorry. So what was the question?
Well, Crystal says, she writes, I take exception to that. Those folks were targeted. Speaking about your comparison between the FBI and the way they're treating PG Sittenfield, and then the comparison you got from Judas and the Black Messiah, which detailed, the infiltration of these Black.
I get her point. And they were targeted. It is definitely not the direct comparison I was trying to make. That's the point I was trying to establish, is that once the feds have a narrative in their mind, they don't care about the facts. So to say that I was responding to your point, and the point of many, that, okay, people are the feds do something because they have something. That's not true. They do something because they believe something, whether it's true or not, and they want to find a way to make that narrative true sometimes. That is often true of dealing with the feds. And yes, those people were targeted, and they were partially racism is definitely a part of it. But what's also a part of it is that in their mind, they're like, oh, these people are bad people, and racism had to do with that, but it's still a narrative they had in their head.
So what does that mean?
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. I got it. And I understand her, the trouble she had with the comparison. I
get it. And I get it. It is not the same. I want to be clear on that.
Same. But in terms of like the FBI being above reproach, they always 100% get
That's
it
really
right.
the point I'm trying to make.
I think that was the point you're trying to make, because nobody is. And they have a history of making mistakes. And not even making mistakes, but making unethical decisions, making decisions that's not based upon basically evidence and fighting crime. That's the perception people have out there.
And that's the extreme to it. But there are levels to this. The point is, because they did, I think when they pursued John Edwards, they went after John Edwards and lost that case too. That was another case where I thought that was really, really iffy too. So they do this often. They get into this mindset that they are the good people. And a lot of times they are, but sometimes they're not. And they get into this mindset that when this narrative gets in their head that, hey, these people are guilty, we got to find something.
Mm-hmm. TNT writes, PG is not the Black Messiah.
No, I mean, yes, that's duh. Yes, thank you. He's
absolutely not. We know that.
No, and listen, and I've said this, to him. What he did, there was some sloppy stuff there. I mean, but sloppiness does not equate to, and it's stuff that I wouldn't have done. But that doesn't make it the level of a federal prosecution. So that's my point.
Yeah. Let's talk about mayor for Cincinnati, because you ran for mayor for Cincinnati. And we were talking about this whole case, this whole, not case, but this whole moment in time where it was you, Yvette Simpson, John Cranley, Democrat primary. A lot of people look back at that and have a voter's remorse. But now looking forward, you got a pretty decent crowd of folks who are running for mayor. I mean, I'm not asking you to pick favorites, but I mean, just to put on your expertise as a local political, I mean, who do you think is the front runner in the mayor's race?
Oh, I mean, I think there are a couple people I would say are the front runners here. You got to obviously put Aftab up there, who's got high name ID. He's going to be able to raise the money. And then you got to also put Cecil. Cecil's just been a proven candidate that can win. He's got just a well-established reputation. He's been in City Hall, and he's now at the State House. So I think those are the likely two. I don't know. I think that of course David Mann declared. I'm not sure if Smitherman has declared yet or not. If they do, I imagine that they have a shot at coming out the primary. I don't think it's a lot, because what I believe will happen is they will split. When I say they, David Mann and Smitherman and some of these others may split the kind of quote unquote conservative vote, if you will, within the city of Cincinnati. But that's only limited. That's going to get you maybe 20% of the primary vote. So I still believe it'll come down to, I believe it'll be Aftab and Cecil. That's what I think.
Aftab, even if Christopher Smitherman gets involved, you're saying you don't see him coming out of the primary?
Coming out top two? No, I don't. I think it's going to be very difficult, because where's the base going to be for him, right? I mean, the base is he's hoping on the conservative base, and he'll have some of the conservative base, but I also think he'll split some of that enough to where he might not come out of the primary.
Right. Glenn Rice, Smitherman has a black voter problem. Is that how you see it, or what's your take on it?
I think he's going to have to explain some things, certainly, because he spends a lot of his time and energy on right-wing radio. And he's got his own things that people can really look up with his past in the NAACP. I think people are going. All that's going to be examined on a large level, but perhaps he has a shot because it won't be examined as much on the primary level if people don't consider him a primary threat. They may or may not. I also don't know how much money he's going to be able to raise. He may or may not be able to. He dropped out of the initial race with PG. I think partially probably has something to do with the ability to raise too.
Right. Now that we're talking about it, man, it's jogging memories. I remember one of the best and most hilarious political campaign ads of all time, Rob, was that anti-Smitherman ad where Lincoln was doing the Negro national anthem, the Black national anthem, and you were behind that, man. That shit was hilarious, bro.
Well, I can either confirm or deny that. I'll just say, it's you stand for your record or you don't.
That was one of the funniest things of all time, man. Damn, that shit is hilarious. I remember the first time I heard it, I was in the studio like, what is this? Man, and they hated you. He hated you with a passion.
I mean, listen. It's a part of. If you do something, you ought to be able to stand behind it. Like when people criticize me, you have plenty of reasons too. I'm fine with it. Like I stand behind what I say. I stand behind what I do. If you're a member of the Tea Party or you're pro-Trump, go ahead and say it. Don't pretend and hide and tell people that you're something that you're not. If that's who you are, fine. Be it and be it proudly.
Yeah, thanks for the clarification. She said that was Smitherman singing.
Oh, yes, it was definitely right. Smitherman. It wasn't Lincoln.
It wasn't Lincoln. Right, my bad. Had Lincoln on the brain this morning. That was funny, man. Somebody Graxton writes that you can't be objective when it comes to the vice mayor.
What's that?
Graxton is saying that you cannot be objective when it comes to the vice mayor.
I mean, that's definitely his opinion, so he's welcome to it.
Let me see. Priority Cleaning writes, Chris Smitherman knows he doesn't have to show or prove anything to Black voters. He just saw Biden get elected. Okay. So he's making a connection between Black voters and Biden and Smitherman as well.
Oh, okay. I don't really understand the connection, but all right.
Let me see. Can a Smitherman opponent play audio of his appearance on anti-Black radio? Is that legal? Okay.
Yeah, listen, you do something. Everything that you say is fair game in politics. So it is. And people have used audio against me and even used it out of context. I don't even think that ad was out of context. It was accurate to what he's done and what he stands for. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Grayson writes, ask Rob Richardson how much money the vice mayor has in the bank for mayor since he believes the vice mayor can't raise money. I got the facts.
Okay. Well, why don't he tell us? I don't know.
Yeah. How much money does he have, Dan Grayson? I don't know. I haven't heard that. Lemmy writes, the demographic to the Black population has changed due to gentrification. Stay woke. Yeah, not that dramatic. What are we still, 42, 45%?
Yeah, we're still a large percentage.
Yeah, somewhere in between there.
So I agree with that. And it's not just the Black, it's not just the Black vote. You got to look at the vote. So there's several different, I guess, sections of the vote. There's kind of like whatever you call it, the liberal white vote, the more conservative vote. I would say the older Black vote. That's maybe he may be able to appeal some of them. I mean, his best bet. This is his. If we're talking about Smitherman, his best bet is to pull the conservative vote and try to pull like older Black votes. And that is his winning formula. And to me, that's it.
Yeah, that could work.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a chance that could work. That would be to me the only way it works, though. I think that's his demographic. It is still, I don't know how strong of a connection he has to the older Black vote. I think he has a very strong connection to the conservative vote, though.
Yeah, and then as a former president of the NAACP, he can always pull that out of his pocket and say, "I did that." So that'll help him as well.
Absolutely.
So what's next for Disruption Now? I know you guys put on a virtual event in which you were connecting entrepreneurs and in some cases potentially with funding. And we talked away from the microphone. I mean, just as much as you want to share. So what's next with Disruption?
Yeah, so we're going to have a large annual summit again. We're going to bring that back. But now we're also doing a really specific focus on Black and brown artists and collectors. and we're starting actually a market, a crypto art market, which is coming up. But we're going to have an art and equity summit that's coming up on April 22nd. We'll have some of the leading collectors from Atlanta, Zuccotti Gallery. We'll have a Black woman collector, one of the largest Black female-owned collectors in the country, and certainly in Miami with the Yeeling Group. And we're going to feature some emerging artists and really help them be able to sell their pieces digitally and learn this new market, because there are new opportunities within the cryptocurrency markets, specifically in crypto art. And like I said, our goal is to empower more of these creators, entrepreneurs, even yourself. There are ways that you can take your brand and sell in different ways now that you couldn't do even a year ago. And our goal is to help people actually do that.
Okay, I'm here for it. You said crypto art. What's
Yes.
that? Explain that.
So I'll keep it in as simple terms as I can. So you build something called a non-fungible token. And what that means is you have Nathan Ivey, say that piece you have there, that could be a piece of art that you create digitally. And then you create a token for that. And then there's a limited amount of those and you sell them, and you're able to trace them with what's called a smart contract. So anytime somebody uses that, they won't be able to use it unless you know your signature is on it, and they have to pay you every time they do it. That's essentially what it is. So it allows you to create digital art in a way that is traceable and a way that you can continually make money off of your art digitally. And to give you some idea, I mean, this market is at the place where, I think the market cap was about 315 million. My estimation is in the next 3 to 7 years, this is going to be a major multi-billion-dollar market. And my goal is to say, instead of Black and brown entrepreneurs having things flow through us, like you look at Clubhouse, which I'm on Clubhouse, right? But like Black people made that lit. It started off at 20 million. It's worth $1 billion right now in 6 months. We should own more of what we provide value to. That's part of my proposition in what we're starting and what we're creating with Disruption Now.
And then on the podcast, I mean, you talk to disruptors, you talk to people that's out here moving the culture.
Yeah.
And you also connect people to resources as well. So how and where and when can people hear your podcast?
Yeah. So the podcast, we air it every Wednesday. We have a new episode. You can obviously follow us on Apple, disruptionnow.com. You can go to disruptionnow.com and sign up and learn about things we have in the future. You can follow us on YouTube. We're on every social media channel, but primarily I would say go to disruptionnow.com. That's where we want to get people geared towards. You can also find us on YouTube. Obviously my Instagram handles are at Rob4Ohio and also at Disruption Now. So we look forward to learning and hearing from some more folks who want to help us, disrupt the status quo.
Hey, Rob, I love it, man. The door is always open, bro. And hopefully we can keep this going. And I appreciate you, man. Again,
appreciate
Rob,
you, brother.
Absolutely, man. Keep up the great work. That's Rob Richardson Jr., everybody, host of Disruption Now. And of course, from time to time, you can see him on with Roland. He said Roland's going to be on this show. So I'll look for that and make sure I share it so everybody can check it out. Very timely conversation. Actually, just kind of lined up. Rob and I talked about doing this a few weeks ago. And it kind of lined up with some things that were brought up in the Chop Shop this morning because he was there. We were talking about Cranley versus Yvette and what happened in NAACP. He was a part of that primary. He was as a mayoral candidate. And a lot of people had things to say about it. And he shouldn't do this. I say do what you want to do. I say do whatever makes you happy because you're never going to make anybody 100% happy. So just make yourself happy and let the chips fall where they may. You know what I'm saying? I've heard people say this about different candidates, like they never got a shot. Well, I'll tell you one thing. If you're not in the race, then you certainly don't have a shot. That's for damn sure. The only time you have a chance is in the race. And I don't care what anybody says. When you are in the race, you got a shot. You got a shot. And that's all you can ask for in this world. You know what I'm saying? A lot of cases, that's as good as it gets. You get a shot. So make sure you check out Rob, Disruption Now on Facebook, disruptionnow.com. And plug in. He's on Instagram as well. Plug into what he's doing and support him. Crystal's got a link right here, disruptionnow.com. Right, giving great commentary when he's on with Roland. I always seem to agree with his flows. And props to Roland too. Again, these are pioneers. These are people that I get a lot of energy from. I learn from other folks. You know what I'm saying? As a creator, as a digital creator, you watch other people and you boom, you like, oh man, that's a great idea. Or maybe you build upon it, or maybe you come up with an idea in which you can work with them on some levels. And I'm 100% about that. Anybody who knows me knows I am a collaborator. Let's do something together. You never know. Maybe it's a show or some other idea. I'm 100% about that life. But it just kind of worked out that way that Rob was there to share that information with us. I was able to ask him himself, since it keeps coming up. Like I told you, I mean, I don't fault any man or woman for showing support to somebody they want to support to. Go right ahead. But this idea that somehow it's a betrayal to our community, I'm still trying to understand that argument. I don't get it. But he shared his thoughts with you as to why he signed on to support PG Sittenfeld, and his thoughts from a legal lens as to the case. As I've been saying from day one, I said this about Tamaya Denard until she copped the plea. You're innocent until proven guilty. And as a black man in America, I can never look over that. There's too many of us who've been locked up on some trumped up charges, or railroaded, or the evidence was forgotten or misplaced, or they didn't dot the I's or cross the T's. It wasn't done properly. I've seen too much of that. And we ain't even talking about COINTELPRO. We ain't even talking about how the FBI was involved with COINTELPRO. Even to this day, family, I've been telling you from day one, COINTELPRO did not end in the 70s and the 60s. It's been going on. They just changed the target, right? They just changed the target. If you go back to when Baby Bush took us to the war in Iraq, you had black and white anti-war activists who were complaining that they were the victims of COINTELPRO, right? The mechanisms that were created by the FBI and the surveillance society, the tools only got better. You know what I'm saying? As the years go past, the technology gets better. That means their tools to surveil us without us knowing only got better. COINTELPRO never ended. It's still going on. It's still going on. It was certainly employed. They need to be using COINTELPRO with these backwater bubbas and these white supremacists. That's what they need to be doing. Use all of what you was doing with Fred Hammonds and the Black Panthers and Martin Luther King and Lou Alcindor and James Brown and James Baldwin and you name it. Use all of that to stop these backwater bubbas. The same people that we saw, they call them Capitol insurrectionists. You mean the white supremacists that thought they was going to take over the country? Those folks, use all those tactics with them, because those are the real threats. That's what you need to do. But great flows from Rob. I appreciate the time this morning. Appreciate it. Very interesting and very timely. Letty writes, Rob Richardson will not tell the whole story. He was jealous of Smitherman. Seriously. Okay. Damn, I would have read it had I got that in before he got off. Good morning to you, Amina. Amina writes, I prefer pumpkin. Do I lose black points? Just a little bit. Nat writes, does Smitherman prefer sweet potato pie or pumpkin pie? I don't know. TNT writes, this is often two kings doing great things. Absolutely. Props to Rob and what he's doing with Disruption Now. See, Glenn writes, how can Smitherman use his NAACP experience as a plus, ? Didn't he bring the Ku Klux Klan, Coast, and Willie Cunningham inside the NAACP, ? Black folks not down with Coast or Cunningham, I'm just saying. Yeah, you're right, but a lot of people are surface oriented, so they're not going to get deep with all the details like we are. They're just going to go over the surface. And so when Smitherman runs for whatever office and he puts on his resume, former president of the NAACP, those are facts. And a lot of people don't remember the backstory. You got all kinds of new voters. People have come to voting age. People who are not aware of these conversations. They ain't going to be thinking about none of that. They're not going to be thinking about any of that. You know, what I didn't get a chance to ask Rob was about PG is what does he think his chances are of running for mayor successfully? Like previous to all this stuff. And part of me feels like it was politically motivated, family. I'm going to be honest with you. I felt that way from day one. I wonder out loud if there was a political motivation in it, because things just kind of like fall into place too neatly. And coincidences and grown folks, oh no, I don't believe in it. Draw wants me to ask Rob about the Molly Ball Shadow Secret Camp. You back on this again? We already debunked this, man. You need to read your own article, man. I don't think that article is saying what you want it to say. I think you're falling for the head fake. So people that write articles and things like that, they understand just how important the headline is. And so the headline, the Shadow Secret Campaign, you're loving that because you feel like it's an answer to all of the conspiracy theories out there that Trump was willing to work with the Russians and work with whoever else to get reelected. So now you feel like you got some ammunition for your side. But having read the article, bruh, you need to read your own article before you start throwing it out there. It does not say what you wanted to say, Drop. It doesn't. Grass and Rice, check my email for, okay, I'm checking my email. What's this? Let me see. Okay, so I just got what appears to be a campaign finance report from Smitherman. From Smitherman's office. Office sought mayor. Looks like he has $105,000. This was signed in 01/30/2019. So this was a year ago. This was 2 years ago, right? 1/30/2019. So this is 2 years old. This is 2 years old. And it's got the whole campaign finance report from 2 years ago. So you saying that Smitherman is still sitting on this $100,000? That's cool. I think it's going to take much more than that to run if he's going to run against AFTAB. Something tells me it's going to be a lot more than that, but we'll see. That's dope, brother. That's dope. He had $100,000 2 years ago. He hasn't run for anything, has he, since then? So maybe he still has that. Do you have the 20 campaign finance report? So let's see. Those reports just went in the end of January. People had to report. I'm not even sure that would be available. Are those end of January reports? Because campaign reports have to be in by the end of January, right? That's the annual for 2020. Okay. So if you have a PAC or anything like that, you do 2 reports at least, the semi and the annual report. That annual report in Hamilton County, Ohio is due the last week of January, and it's for the whole year of 2020. Do you have that? Because that would be more timely and up to date. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Oh, hold on one second, brother. I'm doing well. Hold on one second. Let me make sure people can actually hear you. That would be important. Hold on one second. Okay, let's go to. Okay, you're on the line, brother. Welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. How you doing, Nate?
I'm doing great. Just hit myself with the mic. Doing great.
Hey, you know your problem with the information that you just got. You know what your problem is, right? You read the fine print. You weren't supposed to see that was 2019.
Right.
That's the equivalent. Remember when Donald Trump said that the hurricane was supposed to hit Alabama, and the National Weather Service said no, it was over the state of Florida. Remember he put a plate down and drew a Sharpie to connect it to Alabama?
Right.
Remember when he did the weather? That's basically what they tried to do with you, Nate. You weren't supposed to know that was 3 years ago, dude. Like 2 years ago. And like you said, the reports are supposed to come out, January 2020? He didn't give you that information?
January 2021.
No, so he didn't give you that information?
No, it's not. This is from 2 years ago.
So he's kind of out of the loop like Kellyanne Conway. You know, when they send them out there to say shit, but then they don't know that the president just tweeted like 20 minutes ago something different. That's what it sounds like. That's exactly what it sounds like. Man, let me say this, Nate. Did you get my email? I sent it to you last night.
I did get it. I got it this morning.
Okay, because the WAV file, they said it was too large, so I sent both.
Okay.
The MP3 and the WAV. So
okay.
I just hope you got it like that.
But there's some ways around that we can talk about away from the mic. Just so if you're going to send a large audio or video file, there's some things you can use. It'll be a lot easier than just putting it in a Gmail because you're going to run into some issues with that.
Okay, no problem. Hey, I'm listening and learning from you, my brother. So I appreciate it. But I did want to say this because I want to say a little thing about the impeachment trial. and what happened over the weekend. What we saw, Nate, was nobody's surprise. I think the only surprise is that they're able to get a couple more Republicans. And like you said, Mitt Romney actually voted for the impeachment trial twice. But what you're seeing, Nate, is that all of the Republicans, those 7 Republicans that voted for impeachment, they're now having the threat of either being primary, killed, or waiting for Donald Trump to get back on some type of social media platform so he can destroy their name. And can you imagine being a candidate in a party like that? Again, you're either going to get primary, killed, or waiting for Donald Trump to say something and defame your name. That's where they are right now, Nate. Now, again, what we saw with the impeachment, nobody is surprised, but we had to hold them accountable. And I'll say this for the people that talk about, oh, this was a waste of time. Nate, had that been Barack Obama and BLM, would they have been talking about it a waste of time? Would they have been talking about unity? I'm just going to leave it at that. People check out the recent podcast, the Politically Petty podcast show, and check it out. But I just want to throw that out there. Had it been completely the opposite way, and those were BLM protesters smashing shit, sitting at Nancy Pelosi's desk, carrying a damn podium through the rotunda with a Black Lives Matter flag, I don't know, the red, black, and green, whatever. Just change it to black, and would they be talking that unity crap, or let's just get over it, or how much money it costs? Nate, I appreciate you taking my call, brother. You have a good one.
Appreciate you making the call. Take it easy. That's Glenn checking in. Before we go too deep in the show, just a word from our sponsor. We'll be right back. (513-252-1055), thewellburnexperience.com. You can email Otis and his team this morning at teamwellburn@gmail.com. Again, teamwellburn@gmail.com this morning if you're interested.
It's that Wellborn experience. It's that Wellborn experience. The Wellborn experience. 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 It's that Wellborn experience. Yeah, the Wellborn experience. Yeah, that Wellborn experience. Experience. Tell us what you need. That's the question we start with. We specialize.
Oh, sorry about that. Again, 513-252-1055, thewellburnexperience.com. There is a link in today's description, and you can check it out for yourself. All right. And when you contact them, please let them know that you heard about it on the Nathan Ivey Show. It means everything. I got to make a move, family. There's a lot of things going on. I need to get straight to it. Have an excellent rest of your day. Look for some new voices with CDM and our platform, including Melanin Insights with Britt and Cass. They've been working hard behind the scenes to put together a quality podcast, and they're ready for the world to hear it and to see it as well. So Melanin Insights podcast. When you see the first episode go up, please like it and share it. Okay. It means everything. All right. Brand new show coming real soon. All right. All right. I'm very excited about it. All right. Can you tell? Looking forward to it. It's going to be super dope. It's going to be dope. Have an excellent rest of your day, family. I really appreciate you being here. Means everything. Shout out to Rob Richardson for chiming in with us a little bit this morning. Spent about 25 minutes with us, about 25 minutes with us this morning. I appreciate it. And gave us the inside track on someone whose name came up in relationship to what happened with Tamaya Denard. And I just think it's interesting because, like, sometimes people get a certain perception in the media, right? But that perception doesn't have to be reality, right? There's a lot more going on. And everybody's talking about shadow government. Yeah, I mean, I see this knee-jerk reaction from city council right now. They're going to put up some anti-corruption laws and things like that. That's great. They should do all of that. But that's not the end of the story, family. If you think that's the end of the story, it is not. And just look at how things have all worked out. Look at them. Who's benefited from all of this? I don't believe in coincidences, not one bit. Have an excellent rest of your day. I'll be back with you and hopefully better than ever tomorrow morning. Until next time, I'm Nathan Ivy, and I'm out.